families rely on. Sentencing day over a deadly hate crime in Illinois.
53 years in prison, essentially a life sentence for 73-year-old Joseph Chuba, who jurors in Will County only took an hour and a half to find guilty in the stabbing death of 6-year-old Wadi El-Fayumi and the injury of his mother, Hanan Shaheen, who said,
"Our justice system has spoken. There is no room for hate in our country and communities."
The Palestinian Americans were tenants of the former Plainfield landlord and victims of what prosecutors called a hate-fueled attack in 2023, amid rising tensions over the war between Israel and Hamas.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. State police in Idaho are still investigating what caused the deadly collision between a pickup truck and a tour van yesterday near Yellowstone National Park. Both vehicles catching fire. 7 people were killed, 8 others injured. America is listening to Fox News.
Millions of
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A back and forth with the Lieutenant Governor. All the rain in Indiana this afternoon is concentrated down in the Evansville area. Nothing in central Indiana, but you do have a 60% chance that you could see some rain overnight. It's 74 right now on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Faith and education leaders call Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's 3/5 compromise comments a war on reason, intelligence, and truth. Ryan Hedrick explains.
This is really not about the 3/5 compromise.
Dr. Lasana Kasembi, associate professor at IU, at a press conference on Friday at Purpose of Life Ministries at Indianapolis. He says Beckwith's comments are really about distraction.
Because this could have been about any issue, and then we would have found ourselves there. That is the purpose of racism, is distraction.
Kasembi joined others, including State Senator Andrea Hunley, to urge people to sign a petition condemning Beckwith.
An Evansville police officer has turned himself in. His fellow officers say Anthony Stevenson pulled a gun and pointed it at another officer at the end of a celebration at the Fraternal Order of Police building Sunday. Court documents say Stevenson was likely drunk and later owned up to what he did during a recorded phone call. In Lafayette, at the Cypress Square Apartments, officers fatally shot someone last night. Johnette Cruz has that story.
Police were responding to a domestic disturbance call when the situation escalated. Authorities say Kenneth D. Smith opened fire on officers after they safely removed a woman and her son from the apartment. Officers returned fire, fatally striking Smith at the scene. No officers or other civilians were injured. The Tippecanoe County Coroner's Office is investigating the death.
In Roanoke, in Huntington County, the Sheriff's Department says 46-year-old Brandon Henline shot and killed his 80-year-old father Thursday night before shooting himself. The younger Henline died at the hospital. The father ID'd as 80-year-old Richard Henline. It happened just after 9 last night, and deputies believe after an argument. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
Chris, let's start on the west side where we have a crash coming in on eastbound 70. It's at Harding Street, blocking 2 left lanes, stopping traffic back to Holt Road for a 15-minute delay. Inbound 65 is stop and go right now from 29th to Meridian Penn. East side, westbound 70, stop and go traffic from Shadeland Avenue to Emerson Avenue. Again, Sherman dragging into the north split. And then on the northeast side, we have 2 stalls on eastbound 465. They're both around 75th Street, blocking the right lane. This caused traffic to jam back to Keystone Avenue, and a delay time of 22 minutes, an additional 22 minutes to make it through eastbound. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies today, some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms, mainly south and east of Indianapolis later this afternoon. Highs near 72, down to 55 tonight with some scattered showers. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! Man, oh man, Hammer. Governor Braun doing something crazy here. I can't believe he did this. He actually signed a bill into law that requires jails to tell ICE about immigration violations.
What?
What is Braun thinking here? Screw property taxes. You're violating the rights of illegal immigrants with it. No, I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Can you imagine being a liberal and saying exactly what you were just making fun of? Could you imagine being a super lib and saying what you just said, Nige, but being serious about it? How dare he rat out people who broke the law? How dare he?
Require jails to cooperate with federal authorities with illegal immigrants. Sorry, I'm all for it.
And the bill has been signed by the governor. It was on his desk. And what this is going to do is if somebody is taken into custody and they cannot provide proof of citizenship, and they've also been booked on felonies or misdemeanors, okay? Those are the categories. Then ICE can be notified. And this bill requires the jailers to notify ICE. Now, ICE could choose to ignore the phone call. ICE could choose to say, you know what, this guy's got a misdemeanor, but we're working on a big group of illegal human traffickers right now. We're going to let him off the hook. They could do that. But it will be required that they have to let the Immigration's Custom Enforcement know, i.e. ICE. So I'm good with this.
Wasn't this, were we talking about something similar with the Attorney General, Todd Rokita? He had a bill that kind of floundered.
Right. He wanted some more hardcore provisions in there. So this bill doesn't go far enough.
Right.
But at least it's something, right? And at this point, you'll take it. At this point, if you're the governor, if you're the lieutenant governor, you will take any sort of victory that you can get at this point. Does everybody in this room have their real ID at this point? Anybody in their car, anybody at home not have the real ID where you got the little star on your driver's license? You know what I'm talking about?
I had the star.
I recently got it. I told my story of how difficult it was going to that Plainfield BMV where they just kept making me come back with more information, and the woman kept saying both, and it was driving me nuts.
Both. You need both pieces of identification, both of them. Lindsay, she went to the one on 86th Street, the DMV. There's one over in that area, and she got there right when it opened, and she was like number 76. You know what I mean? Like everybody was in there
because you're going to need it to fly on a commercial domestic flight.
I know, but the point is, like, everybody's trying to get their real ID last minute, and she got there right when it opened and had to wait for like an hour and a half.
So I'm somebody that has seen firsthand how much of a pain in the ass it can be. But if you're telling me that these real IDs are going to cut down and crack down on fake identification, voter fraud, things of that nature, if you can show me here in a couple of years that these real IDs, they're super difficult to acquire, But once you have them, if it cuts down on voter fraud and things like that, I'm in. I will play ball. I'll shut up. I'll listen to that big old woman in Plainfield say both over and over and over again until I have all the right pieces of information. But if this is going to be for the greater good, I'm all right with that.
Explain the both. That's you have a problem with the pronunciation when you're talking about like dual documents.
The word is both. B-O-T-H.
Yes.
There's no L. There's no L. And maybe this is an Indiana thing. You know how some people say Washington instead of Washington? Maybe it's a Hoosier-ism. I don't know. But this big old woman from Plainfield kept telling me I needed to have both pieces of proper information.
I would go so far as to say there's no F either. Some people...
Both. B-O-L-F.
You need both pieces of identification. Can I also say something, just a side note, as long as we're talking about these real IDs and going, getting on domestic flights? I think the TSA pre-check, I think it's overrated. You know what the TSA pre-check is?
You're supposed to be able to skip the line, right?
Yeah, but there's still a line. And sometimes the line's bigger than the regular line for the regular folk.
Well, that sucks.
Like, the only difference is I don't have to take off my belt or my shoes.
So if you're standing in both lines, this one might actually be longer, and you paid to be in the longer line.
And I paid extra, and it was, I sat at the Staples on Keystone for an hour and a half going through the whole rigmarole to sign up for that. So I think the TSA pre-check, little overrated.
We've got some legal stuff, so please, Mr. Attorney General Todd Rokita, cue up the band.
Legal stuff.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
Legal stuff.
So your good buddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Nige, a man that was very kind and very cordial to you at a press junket on Radio Row in the past, I believe.
Well, it was in Vegas, and his entourage was walking past me, and he didn't stop in my market. He didn't stop for an interview, but I was hoping to get a picture, and he had like 5, 6, 7 guys around him, and I said, "Yo, Diddy, can I get a pic?" This is like in 2003.
Uh-huh.
And he just like kind of everybody, it was in the casino at the American Music Awards, and like everybody just kind of stopped. And
did you hear a record scratch?
Like a scratch, and he kind of looked up at me and he just goes, "Nah." And then everybody like went about their business, and everybody,
"Yo, Diddy, can I get a pic?
Diddy, can I get a pic with my digital camera that I keep in my pocket?"
It's a Polaroid
before iPhone. Yeah.
So that guy,
Yeah.
Sean Diddy Combs, has rejected a federal plea deal on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, which means his trial will begin here in a few days.
No kidding.
So he's turned down the plea, and now this trial is going to be a circus. This thing is going to be name dropping of celebrities, who did what, who knew what.
Are you sure? Because the Epstein thing, I'm just having shades of in visions of the Epstein thing. Like, we're not going to get any names, we're not going to get anything or any information, or everything's going to be redacted.
That's a great possibility.
Okay.
That is a great possibility.
Because it seems like Diddy was involved in sort of some of the same crap that...
Right. A lot of allegations.
Yeah.
We don't know what's real, what's not, but allegations of younger people, human trafficking, prostitution, group activity, wink, wink. A lot of bad stuff going on here, but he's turned down the plea deal. So during this trial, if they allow court reporters in that court, we're going to get some juicy information here. Looking forward to it. This weekend, got a lot of activity. The Kentucky Derby is tomorrow. The Kentucky Oaks, which is like the Churchill Downs version of Carb Day, is today.
Yeah.
It's the big party day down there. The fillies are doing the racing. It's their Carb Day. It's Kentucky Oaks. The Derby is tomorrow, and then Pacers on Sunday. Still don't know the time yet. Either 6 p.m. or 8 p.m., one of those two on TNT. Pacers are in Cleveland. National media doesn't give the Pacers much of a chance here. I'm hearing Cavs in 5, Cavs in 6. I think the Pacers got a chance here. Got to steal one of these first two in Cleveland. And here to share his thoughts on having to play the first two games in Cleveland, ladies and gentlemen, AI Rick Carlisle.
Well, looks like we will be spending a few days in Cleveland. Not going to lie, that's pretty depressing. I mean, Indy has its issues, but damn, at least we are not Cleveland. Fun fact, Cleveland is home to more chain smoking, fat chicks with neck tattoos than any city in America. Oh, and as for the men who live in Cleveland, good luck finding a guy with a high school diploma. It really shows how good the Cavaliers are that they can be this good while living in a toxic waste dump loaded with distractions like drugs, fat hookers, and poverty. Go Pacers. AI Carlisle out.
AI Rick Carlisle. The setting the scene for what should be a spirited series. Matt Bear.
Yeah, fellas, looking at eastbound 70 Harding Street. It is a crash blocking two left lanes, and we are stopped back to Holt Road. Delay time at 24 minutes. Southeast side ramp closed. It's westbound 465 to Emerson Avenue because of police activity, and we are slow back to 74. And again to Washington Street, US 40 on southbound 465. Northeast side, southbound 465 near 75th Street. Two stalls, both blocking the right lane and stopping traffic back to Keystone Avenue. And this is a delay time of 14 minutes. Inbound 69 stop-and-go traffic, 106th Street to 82nd, and inbound 65 slow from 21st Street to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
I'm sorry, did AI Coach Carlisle say something about Cleveland is full of chain smokers?
Chain smoking fat chicks with neck tattoos. AI Rick Carlisle.
Out.
72 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. One of our favorites, crowd favorite. She can chug a beer with the best of them.
Hell yeah.
Our pal Racing Rachel. She is down at Churchill Downs, and she's going to give us her derby picks next.
Plumbing problems stink. The LD Smith Group can handle anything. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
My garage floor looks 100 times better than it did after Galaxy Concrete Coatings got a hold of it. I live in an older house. Previous owners never took care of the garage floor, never maintained it. Cracks everywhere, stained. It was just chipping away. And within a day, Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in. I mean, my Galaxy Concrete garage floor coating is out of this world. Love the job they did so much in my garage. I just had them back out a couple of weeks ago to do the utility room. The concrete there in my basement made it look fantastic. Check out their website, see pictures, get a quote, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them 751-9070.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment and paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
Hi, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. Our stores are blooming with flowers, hanging baskets, bedding plants, perennials, annual containers, shrubs, trees, and much more. With so many colors and varieties, it's the best looking selection you'll find anywhere. Come see the difference. Why, you ask? Our plants are from top quality Midwest growers, many right here in Indianapolis. Check the specials on our patio furniture like all-weather wicker, Berlin Gardens poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more. You can even choose your own custom cushions on most sets. We specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 37,000 square foot warehouse, all priced at 30% off. See our large selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and the Big Green Egg. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County Spring Nursery Headquarters.
We'll raise up our glasses against evil forces, singing whiskey for my men, beer for my horses.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the hotline.
Not only is she a friend of the show and a horse racing handicap machine, she is the co-leader at the top of the board of Celebrity Beer Bong Challenge. Our pal,
That's
Racing
right.
Rachel. How are you, love?
What do you mean top of the board? How am I not on the top of the board?
She is. And
You and Guy Relford had the exact same time.
Oh, yes, I forgot. We had dang it, I have got to come in there and defend my title.
That sounds like a pay-per-view that needs to happen.
Yes.
A beer bong challenge between you and the gun guy.
I love it.
At the exact same time. I'm doing good. It's crazy busy here, though.
You're down at Churchill Downs for the Oaks, right?
Yes, yeah. Their new paddock club is amazing, and the windows lead right into the paddock. I mean, you're literally right behind the horses' stalls, and they have their own private entrance underneath the paddock that comes out into it. It's insane.
I said this earlier, Rachel, and tell me if you think this is a fair assessment. The Kentucky Oaks is almost like the Derby's version of Carb Day. It's a lot more of a party crowd than you would see for the actual big event. Is that accurate?
I would say that that's more like Derby. Yesterday is more of Carb Day. It's like it's the party. There's concerts. There's lots of fun, and it's not like the feature day. But today is just it's almost exactly like Kentucky Derby Day. It's just for the girls.
Hey, how many people tomorrow don't even make it into Churchill Downs? You know what I mean? Like people. You know what I mean? Like I know there's the infield and it gets wild and the people in the stands are all fancy and dressed nice, but there are a lot of people that go down there just for the party that don't even go inside the venue, right?
There's no tailgating. They all make it inside, but the amount of people that don't ever actually they don't actually watch the race, or they don't go to the paddock to look at the horses.
Okay.
Everybody makes it in, but it's like they're at the bars or the venues or their special club seat, and they don't really even go to the paddock and watch the horses or go out to the track and watch a race. There is a very big group of that. It's such a retail day that everybody just kind of is coming to say, hey, I went to the Kentucky Derby. So, yeah, there is a little bit of that.
What's the most expensive ticket? Like, what are we talking here? Like in the suites?
You guys, this paddock club I'm in, it's $15,000 a ticket.
Holy jeez. How many long shots I got to bet on to win that? Jeez.
You guys, last year I met the guy who invented the plastic for vitamin water, a billionaire with a B that had his own private jet and flew 8 of his best friends here for the race last year. And bought all their tickets.
That's pretty solid.
So
Life goals.
Yeah. I'm in the VVVIP room giving these people handicapping tips. It's insanity.
That's so cool.
Hey, before we get to your Derby picks here, how did you become a handicapper? Because I remember young Rachel, and young Rachel used to hang out with young Jason Hammer. You were behind the bar. I was drinking tequila shots. We were young, dumb, having a good time. How did you become like the premier horse racing queen in Indiana?
Well, I'm hot.
Yeah, you are. You're not going to get an argument from this crowd. No. No,
I'm joking. I was always horse obsessed. I've been riding horses since I was like in 5th grade, and I was always obsessed with them. And I honestly got the internship in sports marketing because I was crazy about horses, and I was like, hey, if I got to do an internship, let's do it at the track. Well, I was natural on air, and I was cute, and they were like, hey, we're going to make you our track analyst. So it kind of went from I could read the program and I knew what was going on to every year it's just built, and now I am what I am. But you named me. I mean, I wasn't racing Rachel until Hammer dubbed me so.
That's it.
You christened racing. Really? Is that right?
And listen, she's being somewhat humble. I say somewhat because she's mentioned how hot she is twice. But she's really good at what she does because you've picked multiple winners on this segment when we've had you on.
Have I really? Are those my stats?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'll never forget that. Was
2
it
years
ago?
Yeah, it was, and you won before that because we've been having you on Derby Friday for the last 5 years. I think you've hit 2 out of the last 5 years.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I am hoping I can keep that going, but my top pick got scratched, so you're kind of catching me at a disadvantage for Derby. I liked Rodriguez, and now he's out.
So we're expecting some rain down there, right? That's what I keep hearing. It's going to be muddy. It's going to be sloppy. How does that change this race?
You know, it has been kind of crappy. I think 2 of the last 3 years it has. And honestly, I think it does change things a lot, really. Horses, from riding them and personally loving horses, some of them like being, don't mind the mud at all, and some of them hate it. You know what I mean? When you're up at this level, it probably doesn't make as huge of a difference as it does some. But yes, you will definitely need to take into account if we just get a ton of rain. But they said it would have already started raining here today now, and it's just muggy and it's clear. So you know how the weather is here in the Midwest, Kentucky, Indiana. It's hit or miss. So I'm not sure what it's going to do tomorrow.
All right, Rachel, moment of truth here. Gun to your head. Who wins this thing?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, well, with Rodriguez out, which I loved as an upset, I do think it is going to be Sandman. Everybody keeps talking about Sandman. I like journalism. He's never ran on an off track, but there's so many horses in this race. I never give people one horse in this race just because there's 20-some. Sandman hasn't ever ran on an off track either. But I think Beza, the 2021, is going to draw in now that there's been scratches. And that horse really interests me as a long shot. It's 12-1 on the morning line, Flavian Pratt, and it put up a 107 last time out, first time running at 1 mile and an eighth in the Santa Anita Derby, which was a grade 1, and got second and was behind journalism, the favorite, by less than a length. So I really like the 21 if it draws in. But if I had gun to my head, winner, Sandman, I think.
I've got action on Sandman, Rachel. I do have a ticket on Sandman. What do you think on Luxor Cafe? Because I've got action on Luxor Cafe as well.
See, I just told some of the guys here, I am not a huge because of my job, and Hammer better than anybody how busy I am all the time, but it is enough for me to have a life barely and follow racing in the United States, let alone trying to figure out what's going on in Japan or Europe. Mm-hmm. So I normally lean on John Dooley, who is our track announcer. He used to be a track announcer at Arlington, Chicago. He loves European racing. And I haven't asked him about Luxor Cafe, but on paper, I mean, that horse hasn't done anything wrong. It's won some pretty big races over there from the looks of it. I mean, the last one it ran was a $228,000 race. But, now he's going for $5 million. So I don't know. That's a good long shot, I'd say.
Rachel, you got a cool-ass job.
Right.
Oh,
I know,
man,
right?
This is fun. I love this time of year.
How lucky did I get to be sitting in here with rich people talking about horses all day? Like, hello. I hit the jackpot.
Awesome.
Hey, if somebody wants to see you doing your day job here in Indiana, where do they need to go?
Yeah, you just type in Horseshoe Indianapolis on the website. The name has changed a million times, but it's Horseshoe Property now. And I'm telling you, X is where horse racing lives. So if you want to find out about horse racing, just follow me at Racing Rachel M. I put everything that we're doing. It's free. Like I tell people all the time, come out, see the horses, bring the kids. We have a playground. People think at the casino, the racing side is a family side. My boss raised his kids at the track, and I've got little track rats running around too. So if you want something to do that's fun and you got to bring the kids, come on out to the racetrack this summer. It's going to be a good time. We're racing all the way till November.
Awesome. Rachel, you're one of our favorites. Be careful, be safe, have a great time, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, let me know about that beer bong challenge. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Gotta love summertime. It's for enjoying outdoor music and vacations, and our pals at AAA Hoosier Motor Club can help you save on both. AAA is now the official partner of Ruoff Music Center, and AAA members going to enjoy some big-time benefits. Early entry into concerts, access to the AAA Premier Lounge. Can't wait to go see Chris Stapleton this summer.
Concerts at Ruoff, always a good time, always a fun time. Same with going on a vacation. And AAA members save with access to hotel discounts, rental car discounts, and a lot more, along with complimentary travel planning. Plus, if you run into trouble on the road, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas. AAA is there 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. So do yourself a favor. Join AAA today. AAA.com, 844-GO-AAA-GO, or stop by your local AAA office.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Denny Smith here for Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville and Sundown Gardens in Westfield. May has arrived and Mother's Day is approaching. Spring flowers are on full display. You just have to see the selection. Miss M's Home and Garden and Sundown Gardens are fully stocked with great annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. Get an early jump on Mother's Day. Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield, sundown.gardens.com. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 in Bargersville, missmshomeandgarden.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It could mean a lag on your deliveries. 71 downtown with no rain on radar, but you do have a 60% chance that you could see some rain overnight. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. UPS announcing layoffs, and a lot of them. Rob DiRienzo of Fox Atlanta TV affiliate WAGA explains the whole thing.
The Sandy Springs shipping giant UPS sending about 4% of its workforce packing and closing 73 facilities. Tom Smith is a business professor at Emory University who studies labor economics. He's now starting to see a pattern.
I think that a lot of economists, myself included, have identified that the economy could very well be slipping into an economic recession.
The shipping giant says moving forward, they'll be doing less business with Amazon. In its quarterly earnings statement, it also mentioned President Trump's new tariffs as a risk. The UPS says with these cuts, they expect to save $3.5 billion this year. In Atlanta, I'm Rob DiRienzo, Fox News.
The cuts made so far by the Department of Government Efficiency are no-brainers to Senator Jim Banks, but it's apparently not the same for all of his Republican colleagues in D.C.
Elon and Doge doing the hard part, identifying almost $200 billion in wasteful spending. So now Congress has to do the easy part and claw that back and make those cuts permanent.
The cuts aren't permanent until they are made law by Congress, and Banks says time is running out. He tells Laura Ingraham on Fox News he's frustrated because some people don't seem as eager to pull the trigger.
It's just the first $9 billion. If we can't cut $9 billion, how are we going to cut $150 billion? It's important that we get this done first so that we can move on to the next bucket.
Dakeel Hall of Yorktown in Delaware County charged with battery of a juvenile under 14. Police believe she bit her daughter's face. The biting incident happened in February, and this week the 26-year-old was arrested, police say, after a forensic interview with the daughter, who also told police her mom used a stick to scratch the inside of her legs. The mom told police her daughter was being manipulated by the foster parents. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, northeast side, southbound 465 at East 71st Street. Right lane closed because of a stall. We are jammed back to Keystone Avenue. Delay time is at 16 minutes. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic MLK to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 crash clear at Harding. Now slow to downtown from Harding into Meridian, Illinois. South side, northbound 65, stop and go traffic Raymond Street into the south. Split the left lane is closed for maintenance. Also on the southwest side, it is police activity that has shut down the ramp from westbound 465 to Emerson Avenue, slow to 74. No timetable on when that's going to reopen. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and isolated storms into Friday night with lows in the mid-50s. A few showers possible for the Indy Mini Marathon Saturday morning, then showers at times the remainder of the day with highs in the low to mid-60s and breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hello, all my friends. This is Brett Michaels, and you're listening to my friends right here, Hammer and Nigel, and they're about to rock your world.
Barguments, 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 barguments.
Come on! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer, would you like to introduce our special Friday guests?
If I didn't introduce this man, he would sue us for copyright infringement. The man that created the tag Barguments. Arguments you could have in a bar with your buddy. Dan Base Levy. How are you, buddy?
Gentlemen, good Friday. Let's bargue until our heart's content.
Now, normally when we have a topic here, it's something that you have already done on the Barguments podcast or social media. This one I sent to Dan earlier in the week because a listener of ours had submitted this topic. I think it was listener Ann. And she said, here's a topic for your Barguments segment you do on Friday. Name a TV show that started off really good, but for whatever reason, it just became unwatchable. That was submitted by listener Ann. So, Dan Base Levy, you get the first crack at this thing. Name a TV show, started off really good, you were into it, you liked it, but for whatever reason, it turned into crap.
Well, thanks again, Ann. And again, anybody who's got an idea for Barguments, I'm always game. I love a good argument. I love a good bargue. So if anybody has anything, keep sending them in to Hammer and Nigel, and we can definitely do it on this show. The one for me that actually hurt me to my core was the TV show Dexter. The show started off so good.
I've heard
it was revolutionary. It's about a guy who's a serial killer who kills all the bad people. He was amazing. It was awesome. And then it feels like the last season, they were all like, how fast can we end this series so we can all watch the last season of Breaking Bad? And it was the worst ending to a TV show of all time. And I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts for it because there may be some people out there. Pretty much the first 4 seasons up until the John Lithgow one were fantastic. After that, they were like, we had no idea we were going to get extended. We have no idea how to end this show. Let's just go all the way downhill with this one. It ruined it.
How bad does a show have to turn where you lose interest in a serial killer?
Well, again, not to give a spoiler alert away, but when you are into a guy who's a cop, serial killer, and like a kung fu guy, an awesome character, and they end the show with him being a lumberjack, made me cry. Made me cry.
All right.
In a bad way.
Dan.
Oh, it was hard. I was like, I can't believe. And my wife, she was like 8 months pregnant when that happened. And that was like the last time we could binge watch shows together. And I was like, I am so upset that was even on the docket. We're never going to watch TV after this. This
it was
terrible.
so bad you apologized to her on behalf of it. That's awesome.
I apologize to the baby that wasn't even born yet that you have to even be in the middle of this right now.
Allison, what about you?
So I went with the sitcom route, and I did That 70s Show. So the beginning was great, great sitcom, the whole gang. But then when Ashton Kutcher left, who is Kelso, kind of the comedy relief, he left the show, and then shortly after, Eric did, the main guy, and they replaced him with Josh Myers, who played Randy. And they did a whole season with him, and it was so painful. It was
replacement characters rarely work.
They never work. Just stop it.
Did it do it with 2.5 Men though? It worked with that?
No, it did not, Nigel, and that's my selection. It did not work with 2.5 Men. I don't know what in the hell you're smoking. I've never hated you more in my life than I do right now. How dare you say the Ashton Kutcher episodes were anywhere near as good as the Charlie Sheen episodes? This is crap.
I just got hit in the head.
Crap.
Base. He just hit me in the head with a pen. He literally just hit me in the head.
You might as well say Coy and Vance were just as good as Bo and Luke. No, they weren't. They weren't. And Ashton Kutcher was nowhere near as good as Charlie Sheen. That show only worked because Charlie Sheen was playing himself, a womanizing degenerate, banging hot chicks at a rich house. That's his life. And that show was awesome.
But the show had a life after Charlie Sheen is my only point, didn't it?
And then they brought in new Duke boys and the Dukes of Hazzard. Doesn't mean it was any good. No, it was awful, Nigel. Awful.
They would not have kept it on the air if it was awful.
Even Ashton Kutcher has an interview where he says it wasn't as good.
Thank you.
And he didn't have a direction.
No.
So it's like 6 degrees of separation here. Allison says her show got worse when Ashton Kutcher left. I say my show got worse when it came on. Go ahead, Nigel.
Base, I just got nailed, like seriously nailed in the head with this pen. He threw something.
If that is not the epitome of what Barguments can become, Nigel,
if we were in
no
a bar
idea.
Base, it would have been a glass. It would have been a bottle.
This could have been a roadhouse kind of fight. I love it.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm kind of with you, like with Dexter and the final season that you were unhappy with. House of Cards.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, that's a great call.
I mean, by this time, Kevin Spacey was canceled, and you come to find out in real life later he's vindicated on everything, but he lost his career. But the plot, the House of Cards that last season was so disjointed. I wasn't even sure what was going on. There was no resolution whatsoever. And there was, you couldn't even compare the intensity. You can't compare the intrigue of that last season of House of Cards to the previous ones. Really big letdown. And again, I feel like they just had to do something because of, just to get it through with, to end it, right?
Yeah.
So
and that first season was just so good. It was so good.
Pushes that chick onto the subway. Yeah, just shoves her right onto the subway and like it's nothing.
All right, let's take a little break here. Base, can you stick around for one more segment here?
I'm in.
We'll talk about some honorable mentions and some shows that they're representing on the YouTube chat and Twitter. So we'll talk about those. We're doing some Barguments here on the Hammer and Nigel show.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Employee pricing. That's right. At Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, you can get employee pricing across a full lineup of your favorite trucks and SUVs. Their entire American inventory has been marked with employee pricing, so you pay what they pay on F-150s, on Super Duties, Explorers, all of them with employee pricing. And if you need something a little smaller but still want to be able to haul the crew and cargo around, the Edge is the perfect choice for you. And you'll definitely enjoy the excellent fuel economy. Plus, it's loaded with safety features. Get more to your door with Andy Moore Ford. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it to you. And if you need to sell or trade your current vehicle, the time has never been better. Andy Moore Ford will pay top dollar for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them. Employee pricing on all your favorite Fords are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, MOHR. I love Andy. AndyMooreFord.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Have recent storms caused damage to your roofing or siding? Cochran Exteriors is now offering free inspections to assess the condition of your home, from blown-offs to full replacements. Cochran Exteriors knows the insurance process and will make your home as good as new as fast as possible. Trust a company that was here before the storm and will be long after. For your free, no-obligation consultation, schedule today at CochranExteriors.com or call 317-ROOFING. Cochran Exteriors, referred for a reason for over 15 years.
Mother's Day is almost here. Miss M's Home and Garden is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. State Road 135 in Bargersville.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
The WIBC mashup is everything you love, from fiery debates to laugh-out-loud takes, all in one podcast. No weak sauce, just the best of the day each weekday. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, we'll continue this little bargument here in just a moment. Right now, Matt Bear's going to check the roads.
All right, busy rush hour, Hammer. We're looking at the southeast side. We have a ramp closed westbound 74 to Emerson Avenue. That is shut down because of a police investigation. More on that with Chris Davis coming up at 4:02 on 93 WIBC. Southbound 465 stop and go from Sam Jones down to Emerson Avenue. Eastbound 70 slows from Tibbs Avenue into Harding Street. Inbound 65, 5-minute delay from MLK to Meridian Penn. Inbound 69, 7-minute delay, 106th Street to 82nd. Also on the northeast side, southbound 465 at 75th. It's a stall blocking the right lane, stopping traffic back to Keystone Avenue. We have a delay of 24 minutes there. North side crash, East 82nd Street at Allison Point Boulevard. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road at North Shadeland or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
72 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Again, I've been mad at Nigel before.
Yes.
He's done a lot of things that have just made my blood boil. But
Proudly.
to sit here and look at me eye to eye and say you thought the Ashton Kutcher episodes of 2.5 Men were just fine compared to the Charlie Sheen ones, it's not that I'm angry, which I am. I feel sick.
My only point was that the show survived for another couple of years and did well. It did well.
What are some honorable mentions that we may have forgot here?
All right, the one that always sticks in my craw too, Game of Thrones. What was an amazing series,
Really?
probably on the Mount Rushmore of HBO TV shows of all time. The last couple of episodes, they just threw it all out. It was just, let's get this show done. We have no idea how to end this show. They, in fact, killed 2 people on it, the major ones. And then when they showed like the outside of it, all those 2 people had to do was move over 2 feet to the left, and the rocks would not have killed those people. But that was literally how 2 of the people that
I don't
you're
even know what that means, but that's hilarious.
it would have been the most
never watched it.
satisfying ways of killing. But then they're like, oh my God, they're under this rubble, which was only a 2x2 diameter of where they happened to be standing. All they had to do was just take a couple steps either direction, and they would have been fine.
On the YouTube chat here, Dan, Libertarian Dragon weighs in. Happy Days. The term jump the shark literally came from Happy Days, where Fonzie jumped over the shark.
When he was water
and it
skiing.
ruined the show. Great call.
Nigel, let me ask your opinion on this. You've seen Yellowstone, correct? You watched all of Yellowstone?
Yes.
Where are we at with the final season of that? Because half of the season didn't even have Kevin Costner.
I mean, look.
And it got kind of woke a little bit at times. You brought this chick in that was supposed to be this, environmentalist vegetarian, and I don't know.
Oh, the chick that went to jail, and then he kind of kept her.
The Coyote
house.
Ugly woman. Yes.
Yeah. No, I didn't like the ending of Yellowstone either, but it was the same kind of deal with House of Cards. And I mentioned that's my big disappointment. Is it didn't have the main character, the people that everybody watched the show for. They, for whatever reason, Kevin Costner couldn't come to a deal for the final few episodes, and it again, no real resolution. No, I think there's going to be some spin-off episodes with Rip.
Right.
The guy that played Rip
and Beth.
Yeah, Rip and Beth. But that, I'll agree with you there. That was disappointing.
Allison, were you ever into Lost? Were you a Lost viewer?
I heard the same thing about Lost.
It's funny. I was just reading the comments, and a couple people said Lost. I've never seen it, but that's been the reputation. Is the last couple seasons were bad, right?
I'm 100% behind the Lost one. That also was, let's get a show on for 3 seasons and have no idea what happens after that.
Hey, Bass,
it was horrible.
Bass, back in the Soprano days, did you ever watch John from Cincinnati after the Sopranos?
Yes, you're right. I forgot about that show.
And we watched it loyally, and I was curious, and they just canceled it. I never found out who the F this guy was.
Yes.
It was awful. It was, so you know what I'm talking about then. You know that show.
I do remember that one. There was also one, I want to say it was on, there was a boxing show on FX called Lights Out. And I think it was only 2 seasons long, and it was really good. And they got rid of that one too. And I was like, wait a minute, is this guy going to jail or not? And they never showed. They just dropped the show like midway in. I'm like, it was the best show after The Shield. You got to tell me what happens here. What's going on?
Jeff on Twitter, I'm going to cast doubt on everything Nigel says from here on out. And you owe Hammer a pen.
You threw it at me. You almost took out an eye.
Where can we find Barguments, Dan?
Barguments is on YouTube. It's anywhere that you download your podcast. And this week I got ex-Major League Baseball player Brett Boone, and I threw the bargument at him.
Cool.
Would you rather fight a a Randy Johnson-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Randy Johnson? So you got to listen for that one. It's pretty good.
What? I'm in.
Pretty good.
You son of a bitch, I'm in. Take my money. I'm in. Check out Barguments. That's Dan Levy, Base. We appreciate you.
See you guys. Thank you.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
When you're talking HVAC, you got to talk about American Standard Heating and Air, because they're the ones that are built to a higher standard. I know I have American Standard equipment installed at my house. I use American Standard dealers. In fact, here's Hammer to tell you about one of those awesome local independent American Standard dealers in Central Indy.
How about Price Point Comfort? Price Point Comfort, locally owned American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer that gives you the right price guarantee. I like guarantees. Guarantees are good. They promise not to oversell you or pressure you into buying a bunch of stuff you don't need, like a lot of the other HVAC competitors do. Price Point Comfort strives for customer satisfaction. Check them out online, pricepointcomfort.com. That's pricepointcomfort.com, or just give them a call, 317-455-1124. You can ask for James or Tyler. They'll hook you up. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. Price Point Comfort is your independent American Standard dealer built to a higher standard.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Wondering when to plant grass seed for ideal results? Wondering who has the best lawn products? Well, now is the time, and great lawn starts with Jonathan Green products. Hey, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. And like Sullivan Hardware and Garden, Jonathan Green is a family-owned and operated business. Jonathan Green has only premium quality Black Beauty grass seed, soil foods, and fertilizers to ensure that you achieve noticeably better results on your lawn. By making your work easier and delivering an impressive lawn, Jonathan Green products will turn your lawn into a green space to be enjoyed with family and friends. Black Beauty seed mixtures are sold at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Improve your lawn with Jonathan Green. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
They want to make doughs cut cuts permanent. Lisa Brady, Fox News. White House Budget Chief Russell Vought says that's part of the goal in the president's new budget blueprint, which includes more than $160 billion in spending cuts.
We're trying to send them up to Congress, propose the lowest non-defense level since 2017. If you adjust it for inflation, it's the lowest since 2000, because we want to bank these $163 billion in cuts to the bureaucracy that has been woke and weaponized.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says programs families rely on will be hollowed out. Some Republicans want more defense spending. Others are concerned the president's framework doesn't address Medicare and Medicaid. Canada's prime minister will visit Washington next week.
The first White House meeting between the newly elected Canadian leader and President Trump is slated for Tuesday, according to Prime Minister Mark Carney, who says he expects difficult but constructive talks. The sit-down comes amid strained relations over tariffs imposed on Canada, as well as the U.S. president's public musings about annexing Canada as the 51st state.
Fox's Lillian Wu. Carney also announcing something that underscores Canada's sovereignty, a planned visit and speech from Britain's King Charles later this month. The first jobs report since the president's reciprocal tariff announcement is better than expected.
Job growth was stronger than forecast in April. There were 177,000 new jobs created. The unemployment rate held steady at 4.2%. More people were in the workforce last month. The labor force participation rate rose to 62.6.
Fox's Jenny Cosola. The report could lead to another wait-and-see meeting for the Fed next week as President Trump urges the central bank again to cut interest rates. Back-to-back rallies on Wall Street. The Dow up 564 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Riled up and not backing down. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in southern Indiana along the Kentucky border, but that's got nothing to do with what's going on here right now. No rain on radar. 72 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 4:02. A 13-year-old shot in the hip this afternoon in an apparent road rage incident about 1:45 p.m. on I-465 near Emerson Avenue. Police say that child was taken to Riley. A baby who was in the car was also taken to Riley to be checked out, not seriously hurt. As far as an arrest, police do have someone that they have detained. Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's comments on the 3/5 compromise got him in some trouble and are not sitting well with some Hoosiers. Ryan Hedrick reports from a press conference in Indianapolis.
Dr. Clyde Posley is a pastor in Indianapolis.
I am a man. I think like a man. I argue and contend and fight in this black body like a man.
He was one of several people at Purpose of Life Ministries that was fired up about what Micah Beck was said.
Because this only gets worse tomorrow. We know it. We've seen it.
State Senator Andrea Hundley wants you to sign a petition denouncing Beckwith's comments. She wants Governor Braun to do the same thing. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
How police ended up shooting and killing a man last night in Lafayette.
Police responded to a call from a woman and her son involved in a domestic disturbance at the Cypress Square apartments. Officers entered the residence and were met with gunfire from Kenneth D. Smith. Officers returned fire and Smith died at the scene. The Tippecanoe County Coroner's Office has launched an investigation into the death while the officers involved have been placed on administrative leave. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
In Yorktown, a mother is charged with biting her own daughter's face. Police say they believe it happened back in February. An interview with the daughter, who is now in foster care, revealed too that her mom, she says, used a stick to scratch the insides of her legs. 26-year-old Dakeel Hall charged with felony battery of a child under 14. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
You often hear the 4 C's of diamonds: color, clarity, cut, and carat weight, and how the direct diamond importers are bigger, better, and cheaper with no competition. Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, wants to take you on the trust side of the jewelry industry. The 4 E's: education, experience, equipment, and expertise. Pierce Jewelers' team has over 200 years of jewelry experience along with their state-of-the-art equipment. Their expertise isn't just sales, but in jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, gemology, and custom design, all done in-house. The diamond world has changed. Pierce carries a vast selection of mined and lab-grown diamonds and can educate you on both and will help you save your hard-earned money. Pierce Jewelers has some of the most unique and exquisite pieces of colored stone or diamond jewelry. Many are one-of-a-kind custom-designed pieces. Pierce Jewelers is proof their family-owned jewelry store in Carmel can compete in today's world. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, southbound 69. Stop and go traffic, 106th Street, 282nd. And in the other direction, northbound 69. That's a bad crash at 96. 2 left lanes closed. Traffic jam 2-465. Delay time 22 minutes. Looking at southbound 465 on the northeast side, a breakdown at East 75th, blocking the right lane, jamming up traffic past Allisonville Road to the White River. That's a 23-minute delay. Inbound 65, stop and go traffic from the White River to Meridian Penn, 4-minute delay. Northbound 65, south side, slow coming off Raymond into the south split, left lane blocked for maintenance. And then eastbound 70, slow to downtown after Tibbs into Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and isolated storms into Friday night with lows in the mid-50s. A few showers possible for the Indy Mini Marathon Saturday morning, then showers at times the remainder of the day with highs in the low to mid-60s and breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Well, I don't know, man. Is China starting to buckle on Trump's tariffs? A lot of tariff talk. Who shot the tariff?
Talking tariffs.
My name is Nigel. It's Jason Hammer over there. China, look, man, like without getting too much into the weeds, they got a lot to lose. A buttload, as some may call it, to lose if there's a trade war with the United States. Their exports have fallen to the lowest levels since before the pandemic. Since the pandemic.
And quietly, without a lot of fanfare, without a lot of media coverage, because if the media in China announced this, they'd probably be executed on the scene. They announced that about a quarter of U.S. goods would be, well, let's just say, knocked off, right? So they're caving just a little. It's not a lot.
Both sides are.
Both sides are.
But Trump, when talking about tech and auto, because they, I don't know, again, without getting into the weeds, like the market shocks that would have an effect with the tech and the auto, but also China for importing things from the United States that's critical and crucial to its regime.
Right. So China has exempted about $40 billion worth of imports from the United States to China. So in return, the United States is willing to say, all right, we're going to play nice too here. And it sounds like China is open to having a negotiation with Donald Trump. This is according to the ministry over in China.
Well, I was reading, so I read the Wall Street Journal from time to time. The Wall Street Journal. You know what else might have a factor in all these negotiations is fentanyl. Chinese companies produce these giant quantities of the chemicals that go into fentanyl. They're called precursors, right? And then they sell them over the internet, and then they're flowing out of China into Mexico. And that might have something to like President Xi and President Trump are like, all right, what can we work out? Or I guess the Chinese security czar has kind of been inquiring, all right, what do you want us to do with these fentanyl chemicals, these precursors, as they call them? They send them over the internet to Mexico, and then they turn them into what comes across the border.
Correct.
So that's another thing that Donald Trump has been talking about with Mexico and Canada, in terms of the flow of fentanyl into this country. But really, it's all coming from China.
So China quietly, in the middle of the night, exempts U.S. goods from tariffs covering around $40 billion worth of imports. That's good news. The jobs report today was good news.
Wow.
And this means that the market is acting like I do when I see a nude photo of Sydney Sweeney. The market was excited. The market was excited. Numbers went up. All things in green today. That's good. You like to see that arrow pointing up. Now we'll see if it lasts.
When you talk about an arrow pointing up in Sydney Sweeney, are you talking about the stock? You're talking about the stock market icons, right? The imagery, the arrow pointing up is what you just said.
I said what I said.
Okay.
Speaking of Donald Trump,
good Lord,
he signed an executive order ending taxpayer funds for NPR and PBS. Taxpayer subsidization of NPR and PBS. Listen, I'm not saying that these networks can't exist. I'm not trying to ban NPR or PBS, but run a business, right? Here at WIBC, we have to be good at our jobs. We have to be entertaining so people want to advertise on our radio station. It's not like NPR and PBS don't have broadcast ability. They do. So maybe if you make an entertaining product, people will want to advertise with you. Do that, fine. Say all the left-leaning bull crap that you want. Knock yourself out, step into Thunderdome, game on. But when you're asking people like us to fund NPR and PBS who hate people like us, that sucks. That's my TED Talk right there. That sucks.
Love the TED Talk. Doing the same thing with Harvard, right?
Yeah, taking away their tax-exempt status. Harvard chose, they had two options.
Yeah.
You can either not be anti-Semitic or be anti-Semitic. They chose to be anti-Semitic, and the Trump administration was like, okay.
They're letting it all go on. They're letting it everything normal at Harvard, all the DEI stuff, all the anti-Semitism, all the protests, all those things. Our tax dollars were going to fund.
Sure. It was going to NPR. It was going to PBS. It's going to Harvard. Think about what those people think about you. But they require people like you so they can hate you. It's a weird lexicon, and I'm hoping that it comes to an end. Nigel, if you need a reason to drink tonight on this Beer Sample Friday,
okay,
this one's kind of tricky because some people would say it was yesterday. Some people would say it's today. But 14 years ago, in 2011, Osama bin Laden was killed by U.S. forces at 1 a.m. local time in Pakistan. Now, from a United States perspective, President Obama announced it to us right before 11:30 p.m. Eastern time on May 1st, which would have been yesterday. But it was May 2nd in Pakistan. And like the official death date for Osama bin Laden is May 2nd.
I got it.
So I'm going with May 2nd. That's what's on the death, notice. That's what I'm going to go with. And I remember that night. It was a Sunday, I believe, and people started hearing some chatter throughout the day. Big speech by Obama later, and they kept delaying it and delaying it. And then just before 11:30, Barack Obama walks out.
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
And it was a Sunday, and I remember this because I was watching Sunday Night Baseball, and the game was on ESPN, and it was in Philadelphia. And as the news started to leak out on social media about what had happened, listen to the crowd in Philadelphia kind of start a USA chant.
Now the pitch, and it's line foul into the seats down the third base line. 1 ball, 1 strike, and I'll tell you what's going on. The crowd is chanting USA, and the reason for that is that there are reports circulating. I am not sure if they've yet been confirmed by the White House that Osama bin Laden is dead.
And didn't the players really had no idea what was going on.
The best part was there was some relief pitcher. I think they were playing the Mets. I could be wrong, but I think it was the Mets. And he's not from the United States. It's like from, Dominican Republic or something. And he goes up to the mound, and this USA chant starts. He thinks they're trying to troll him because he's not an American.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
And he got back to the dugout, and they were like, no, that's not what was going on here. Just relax a little bit. Those racist, no-good Philadelphia fans, they're booing me because I'm not an American. No, they're cheering because bin Laden's dead.
Wasn't the operation going down during the, wasn't Obama at some function when he had ordered it? Like the White House Correspondents' Dinner or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
He was somewhere and something was going down, and then he went into the briefing room and watched it all take place. And if you want to watch a killer movie about Osama bin Laden and the way he was taken out, Zero Dark 30.
Great film.
I've seen it so many times.
Great film.
Jessica Chastain, killer. Chris Pratt's in that movie.
Now, Robert O'Neill is a member of SEAL Team 6, as they were dubbed as. He's the one that's been dubbed the guy that fired the kill shot. He's talked about it.
Yeah.
He's owned it. Now, this clip, man, it's a little rough to listen to, but if you want to hear what it sounded like after Robert O'Neill shot Osama bin Laden, he talked about it on a podcast.
Yeah, there's pictures circulating the internet that aren't even close to how brutal it was. You got to figure, I shot him 3 times in the face at close range with a 77 grain hollow point. And that is a devastating round. And yeah,
Absolutely.
That's why, it split him from here to here. And that's why I had we poured water on him and I had to squeeze it together to get a picture. And again, if people say, well, why'd you do that? It's like, look, when you've obviously never dealt with a suicide bomber, and you've never seen, people have a will to live. And if you shoot them in the chest, it's not like Hollywood where they take a gut shot and die. Like, they will live for a long time. A way to deal with a suicide bomber is you take him in the head, ideally in the mouth.
That was the guy that fired the kill shots at bin Laden.
Wow.
Robert O'Neill.
We were supposed to interview him one time, weren't we?
Yeah, and then something happened and it fell through. But yeah, he's told that story, and he's got, I think, the gun that he used to kill bin Laden, hanging up at his house.
Yeah.
Some people have sports memorabilia up. He's got the gun that he used to kill bin Laden hanging up. Now, that's a conversation starter. Matt Baer, what's going on?
Hammer, we have a ramp closed on the east side. It runs from eastbound 72 Emerson Avenue, shut down because of a vehicle fire. Northeast side crash cleanup continues northbound 69 at 96th Street. It's on the right shoulder now, the entrance ramp from 96th Street, so traffic is cleared out for the most part. Now the other direction, inbound 69 is stop and go 106 to 82nd. A stall absolutely stopping traffic on the northeast side. This is southbound 465 around 75th Street. Right lane block, traffic stop past Allisonville Road to the White River. Eastbound 70 slow in pockets from Holt Road into the south split. Inbound 65 stop and go from MLK to Meridian Penn. Northbound 65 south side stop and go traffic Raymond Street into the south split. That's because of road maintenance in the south split to Raymond Street, blocking the left lane. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
A little slow on the YouTube chat today. Numbers are down a little bit, so come on, folks. Come on. I know it's Friday, but it's Beer Sample Friday. We need 60 more people. 60 more to give us a thumbs up, give us a like on that YouTube stream. So if you're happy bin Laden was shot in the face so hard they had to hold his head together to get a picture, give us a thumbs up. If you're happy that it's the weekend here and Friday is one of your favorite F words, give us a thumbs up. Let's have a great weekend. Go to WIBC's YouTube channel. Give us a like on that stream. We're going to play a fun round of Is This Anything coming up 72 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Beck Toyota has been sold to the Hubler Automotive Group. But before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. And when Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. Every pre-owned Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Tacoma, Tundra, every car, every truck, everything in the showroom, everything on the lot. Need credit? Managers will be on site, accepting applications for immediate review. Plus, Hubler's got you covered. Every Q-certified vehicle includes our 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Before the grand opening of Hubler Toyota, everything goes. It's your chance to save like never before. Don't miss it. When Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. On US 31 South in Indianapolis, across from Hubler Chevrolet. Visit HublerToyota.com. Before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
With everything going on, it may be hard to imagine one more thing to worry about. But clothes dryers cause thousands of house fires every year, and dirty ductwork in your home is filling the air you breathe with pollutants and allergens. Should you worry? Not if you contact Safe Dryer and Air Duct Solutions, a locally owned, veteran-operated business offering fast, reliable duct and dryer vent cleaning services, making your home safer and your air healthier. WIBC listeners save 10% off any service. One less thing to worry about. Go to safedads.net.
JMV here from SM's Home and Garden in Bargersville and Sundown Gardens in Westfield. May has arrived and Mother's Day is approaching. Spring flowers are on full display, and you have to see the selection. Miss M's Home and Garden at Sundown Gardens are fully stocked with great annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. Get an early jump on Mother's Day. Sundown Gardens, 186th and Springmill Road in Westfield. SundownGardens.com. Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 in Bargersville. MissM'sHomeandGarden.com.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Sundown Gardens, Hamilton County Spring Nursery Headquarters.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
And we're brought to you by Indiana Unclaimed, a program presented by the Attorney General's office here in Indiana. Attorney General Todd Rokita reuniting Hoosiers with over $1 million in unclaimed property every single week. Fast, easy, and free. Just search out. You might have some money out there waiting for you. IndianaUnclaimed.gov.
Is this anything? 10-year-old Cooper Wallace has won gold for the second year in a row at the European Goal Screeching Championships.
The what?
Goal Screeching Championships.
Like seagull?
Something you should know as you listen to him winning again. He competed dressed in a seagull costume.
Man, 10 years old. He has
two-time winner.
He has no idea the amount of chicks he's going to be rolling in when he's 18, man. When he gets older. in his teenage years. Yeah, 2-time winner. By then, he may win, 4. And obviously, I wanted to do this story because we're all going to go around the room and give our best seagull. First of all, play his impression of a seagull again. The winner. Okay. I'd like Allison to start, please. Go ahead.
First off, as soon as I saw this on the rundown today, I knew this was going to happen. Okay. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I don't turkey.
know. Here we go.
I don't know. Okay, you, sir.
Because he kind of starts low at the beginning and goes high. So he goes...
Sounds like something bad just happened in Deliverance.
Wee! Like a pig. All right, your turn. If you were competing in the Gull Screeching Championships, Hammer, what would it sound like?
So far, I think Allison's gone for actual seagull. Yeah. Nigel's gone for his impression of Cooper Wallace doing a seagull. Here's mine.
He was attacking.
Yeah, it sounded like a crow getting a piece of meat on the side of the road.
You're sitting on a balcony. It's in Florida. You're by the water. You poured yourself a little something. You look up in the sky. That's what it sounds like right there.
Wonderful.
Is this anything? A woman in Pennsylvania was so upset at another driver that she ran over to the other car and pooped on her hood.
Really? That's quite some road rage right there.
She's facing several charges, including waste on the highway.
That's a charge, depositing waste on the highway?
Here is the incident happening.
You know what could you tell what she was saying there at the end?
I think I have an idea.
I heard an OMG, did I hear you're a slut or something like that?
Yeah.
So wait, but the road rage. So wait, this woman thought the other chick was following her, and she gets out of her car and poops on the hood.
She was so angry about what was happening out on the road, she got out, stormed over, mad as hell, and pooped on her hood.
Now the professional local newscasters had to cover this there. I'm not sure where this was in Pennsylvania, but it is Delco, I believe, Delco, Pennsylvania, and listening to local professional, straight-laced, straight-arrow newscasters cover one woman pooping on another woman's car is hilarious.
Well, talk about a crappy situation in Delco. By now, you've seen the video. It's splattered everywhere. Police charging the woman, they say, defecated on another driver's car. It's always awkward when news anchors have to say the word defecating.
Many people thought this story was fake, but according to Prospect Park Police, the Delco pooper is all too real. Wow. The Delco defecator video has left some neighbors speechless.
Just another day in Delco.
She has posted $1,000 bail tonight, guys.
It's hard to believe,
Most expensive number 2 of her life.
The Delco defecator. Wow.
There was a couple different nicknames in there.
The Delco pooper, which is pretty just blunt. It's just right out there.
Play the very beginning again, because there was something else that I picked up there on the newscast.
Well, talk about a crappy situation in Delco. By now, you've seen the video. It's splattered everywhere.
There! There's no way that was an accident. Splattered? Really? News anchor in Delco?
Grow up! Bravo.
Which brings us to great moments in news anchors talking about poop history. Here's a story of a Halloween gone wrong.
Police in St. Johnsbury wrapped up their investigation into a smelly Halloween mystery. They tell us a kid didn't get a treat, they got a bag of poop.
Great moments in news anchors talking about poop history. Remember the superintendent in New Jersey who was taking random dumps? We called him the pooperintendent. It was covered by the media.
Jogging? Yeah.
Thomas Tremaglini, the superintendent of Kenilworth Public Schools, must answer the charges alleging that he pooped on the back of the Homedale High School on a daily basis. Tremaglini was taken into custody May 1st on several charges, including public defecation and public lewdness.
And last but not least, you don't hear the word poop here, but I think it's implied by our news gathering partners at Wish TV, Phil Sanchez and Marcus Bailey.
Lightning hit the methane gas that was built up in the septic tank, causing a bomb-like effect. Ford says she's just grateful no one was on the toilet at the time. I knew Marcus was really going to like this story.
Because of toilet humor.
Toilet humor, right. Toilet exploding.
I mean, look,
not funny. That's serious stuff, right?
Yes,
that's
of
serious
course.
stuff.
Very dangerous. No one was injured, though.
But
so
you're
that's
still
a good
crying
thing.
from laughing.
Bomb-like effect, Marcus. Bomb-like.
Great moments and news reporters talking about poop history.
I'm a Window Nation customer, big Window Nation fan. They did a great job on the front of my house, replaced all the windows, did it within a day. My energy bills have been lowered ever since that happened. And, I mean, with Window Nation, they were recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So, you definitely can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows, especially with this huge deal that Hammer is going to tell you about right now.
60% off for a house of windows. And Window Nation offers that lifetime warranty on all of their windows. Window Nation, 96% customer satisfaction rating, over 45,000 five-star reviews. What are you waiting for? Call and ask about the savings. 866-90-NATION. At least talk to somebody. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
My name's Craig Landers. I'm a union laborer for Local 120, and I'm a member of the Veterans Steering Committee and been retired for 7 years.
For members of the Laborers International Union of North America, giving back is part of their commitment to the Indy community.
I like to help veterans and family downtown. Part of the building burnt down that housed the veterans that lived there. So we donated money to help out. They lost everything they had. I mean, they didn't have much, but they lost what they did have.
When the Indy community needs help, LIUNA steps up.
People bring in clothes and shoes and food. We had a couple of car shows and donated the proceeds to the Veteran Suicide Prevention.
This is Chris Brickey, Business Manager of Labor's Local 120. While all our members are skilled, highly trained men and women, we are also your friends, neighbors, Little League coaches, and volunteers here in Indy.
Pretty good to help them guys out. That's a good feeling to help people out.
We build Indy for good jobs and stronger communities. We are LIUNA Local 120.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The man who likely will not be getting out. All the thunderstorm activity is 2.5 hours away. Down on the Indiana-Kentucky border, it's mostly cloudy here and 72 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. 53 years in prison for 73-year-old Joseph Chuba. His sentence passed in Illinois today. Fox's Jeff Manasso.
Jurors in Will County only took an hour and a half to find guilty in the stabbing death of 6-year-old Wadi El-Fayumi and the injury of his mother, Hanan Shaheen, who said,
"Our justice system has spoken. There is no room for hate in our country and communities."
The Palestinian Americans were tenants of the former Plainfield landlord and victims of what prosecutors called a hate-fueled attack in 2023 amid rising tensions over the war between Israel and Hamas. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
A teenager taken to Riley Children's Hospital this afternoon after being shot in the hip in what police say is a road rage incident that went on I-465 about 1:45 this afternoon near Emerson. They have detained someone. Whether he was playing or being serious, the other officers took it seriously when they say Anthony Stevenson, a cop in Evansville, pulled a pistol on 3 officers following a celebration Sunday at the Fraternal Order of Police building. According to a press release from Evansville PD, he owned up to what he did in a phone call that was recorded. Stevenson turned himself in today. The other officers who were there say he was quite drunk. Rising crime, natural disasters, and fear have led to more people attending gun training schools. Fox's William LaJeunesse reports from Gunsight Academy in Paulden, Arizona.
There's a mix of people here, men and women, 18 to 80. You've got people who are politically inactive and active, and others who are simply agnostic. But they share one thing, right? It's they own the weapon and they want to use it comfortably for personal protection. The students tell me they don't think there's the stigma attached anymore to gun ownership, and they feel more comfortable talking to their friends and family about what they're doing without being categorized, if you will.
You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
Chris, on the east side ramp reopened eastbound at 72 Emerson Avenue. The vehicle fire cleanup continues on the right side of the exit ramp. It's a little bit tricky, but you can exit now. Traffic is slow back to the north split. Inbound 65, that's stop-and-go traffic. White River Bridge to the north split, 11-minute delay. Eastbound 70 delayed 3 minutes, Belmont to Harding. And northbound 65 on the south side, that's slow traffic from Raymond Street up to the south split because of maintenance blocking the left lane. Inbound 69, stop-and-go traffic from 106th Street, 282nd. Eastbound 465, jam before Keystone Avenue to I-69. And heading towards Madison County, crash northbound 69 at State Road 13. Has the right lane, has a delay back to Campus Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and isolated storms into Friday night with lows in the mid-50s. A few showers possible for the Indy Mini Marathon Saturday morning, then showers at times the remainder of the day with highs in the low to mid-60s and breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 83 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, hi, I'm Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special in-studio Friday guest, as always.
I don't believe this man's ever been in a road rage incident where he's pooped on somebody's car. It's the traffic beast, Matt Bear. How are you?
Not assume. Let's not assume.
It's a long weekend ahead of us.
Man, oh man, I got plans.
It's a busy weekend here in Indy. We got the Mini going on, right?
Yeah, the Indy Mini is tomorrow. That means if you drive on the west end of downtown, the West Side or Speedway, don't drive until early afternoon. The first street that's going to close is tonight, and that's downtown. And that's going to be the one right around Military Park, and it's New York Street. It's kind of an important commuter route by IU Indianapolis, so that closes at 6 tonight.
Dude, if you've ever had to drive somewhere and be somewhere when one of these things is going on, It sucks.
It's brutal.
It sucks.
Were you late to one of your Wish TV things, your betting show?
I missed a betting show at Wish TV once. I was late to it.
Was that because of the...
It wasn't the mini, but it was another one of these types of marathons through downtown. And there's a bunch of them. And you know they're happening, and you leave early, and you try to make plans accordingly, and it still is a miserable experience.
Last mini marathon, I forgot about it, and I got stuck in Dodge City.
Ooh.
So, they're on the northeast side, yeah. It's now Fall Creek Place, and I just kind of stuck on a side street. There are cars behind me, cars in front of me, and you can't go through anybody's lawn. So, yeah, plan accordingly for this. On the near west side, the west side speedway, and the west end of that. I mean, I'm talking about big-time streets here, guys. Holt Road, parts of that, East 10th Street, Michigan Street, White River Parkway are all going to be shut down, like right around 2 a.m. until 1 or 2 tomorrow afternoon. So if you have errands to run, if you have things to do, man, and you're going to be around that, you will be delayed and you will be stuck for a good amount of time if you get caught in this traffic. That's all there is to it. So plan accordingly.
And Nigel, we say this every year. The only positive side to this event happening, if you're not running in it, all the healthy people are downtown. Shorter drive-through at Hardee's, shorter drive-through at McDonald's. You can get in and out of the Long's Donuts pretty quickly.
Seconds.
Yes.
Yeah. It just takes you a few seconds to get in and out of that Hardee's drive-through.
Now's the time for the, the thick burger and the Jack in the Box if you haven't been to one in a while. It's, you're going to have healthy people. And don't forget they're having that big party at Military Park until like 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So I don't know if you have to be a runner or not, but I imagine if you're like me and you're attracted to women, that's going to be a good place to go. And, you can just kind of dig a number out of the trash and pin it to your lapel or whatever you might be doing and be like, hey, that was a big race.
Just show up at the end.
Icebreaker right there, man. That was a big fight.
I'm not even tired. I got stamina.
What'd you think?
Just make sure and tell the chicks that you meet that you didn't eat 1,500 calories worth of oatmeal the night before.
No, good Lord, that'd probably be on the street. Talking about Tony's show this morning. Yeah, it was a rough night.
Did you hear this morning, Hammer? Poor Matt missed a hit.
I missed a bit. Yeah, I missed a bit with Tony.
Why did you miss that, Matt?
Well, it was
like I said.
I was in the bathroom, and it was one of those things where the 8:45 traffic report hit, and then right after that, I almost ripped my headphones out of the little thing there, and it was I just whoosh
photo finish.
Yeah, it was a photo finish, and I hate admitting that on the radio because I know single women listen to this radio station, and I don't want them to think that I do that.
Oh, please!
They poop too.
Yeah, they poop too.
Yeah. What? But yeah, it was a thing, and
what were you doing last night? 1,500 calories worth of oatmeal?
It was I woke up, man, and this is a thing now. This is like bachelorhood in the mid 40s, like being middle aged. I woke up and it looked like something. I had an accident in the bed, and I hate admitting that. There's oatmeal just like frozen to the bed, to the covers, because I spilled it all over myself while I was sleeping. And not only that, I have 1,200 calories of this oatmeal, which has a lot of
Wait
fiber
a minute,
inside
you fell asleep eating oatmeal?
This happens every other night, man. This is my bedtime routine. I'm going to bed, and I cook this oatmeal during the midday when I get home between rush hours.
Okay.
And I put it in the refrigerator because oatmeal is better when it's chilled. And then when I get home, I go through
First of all, that's not true at all. Second of all, you eating in bed is weird, I think, Matt.
It's
you pooping the bed wasn't going to be kidding me you telling me you passing out eating oatmeal?
I thought you were going to say you pooped the bed.
No, it's been years. But this was I'm kidding about that. It was I had like
having fun, Allison.
Yeah,
dreams come true, don't they, Allison?
Every day.
Mike Pence used to. I don't want to steal your line. Yeah, but it's what it is. I go to bed and I surround myself with these 4 bowls of oatmeal. It's like my wife on one side, the kids on the other, and then I just start to eat while I'm watching my Netflix,
TV,
Black Mirror, or Chernobyl, whatever it's been lately. And then as I fall asleep, it spills all over the place. And I had to do my top sheet today.
Corn Pop on the YouTube chat. I fall asleep eating oatmeal, and by oatmeal, I mean Budweiser.
At one point in Matt Bear's life, I think he could probably identify with that.
Yeah, Budweiser, hand sanitizer, whatever I had over there for the moment. There was a vodka bottle. I'm sure we'll get to that in a second. But there's a big race tomorrow, and please beware of the traffic.
I had sent you an email earlier this week because there's some sort of bike bridge that's doing a victory lap now, Matt.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a connector bridge between the north end of downtown and the new 16 Tech Bridge Development District, but it seems like it's awful big, right? Okay, I get having a bike path. I get having a bike bridge. That makes sense, a pedestrian bridge. But it feels like we could put a lot more cars on this thing, which there's a lot more people that drive than ride bikes or walk. Am I alone in thinking that maybe we can make that bike area a little smaller and fit a few more cars up there?
You're absolutely not alone on this, especially with all the traffic changes that are happening in downtown. This bridge you're talking about is on the north end of downtown by Riley Children's Hospital, 10th Street, and kind of bridges into this new 16 Tech District where they're just investing millions and millions of dollars right now. But it is frustrating to see something like that when we don't have lanes drawn on Michigan Street at College. I mean, they still don't have that. With this bridge, they designed it for 2 lanes of traffic, one going one way, one going the other, and then there are bike paths on the side. And this is kind of what this 16 Tech District is doing there on the north end of downtown. They want everything to be green. They want everything to be pedestrian friendly. Now, if it hadn't been in this location, I don't think you would have seen a bridge like this that is so dedicated to pedestrians and bikes and scooters and everything else. It's a downtown thing right now. This is what downtown people are asking for, especially those, and this isn't downtown. I know Hawville, near West Side, around there. They want to be able to have other ways to get to work other than drive. So with all these businesses and all this investment going into this 16 Tech District that's happening on the north end, people are just saying, hey, yeah, we want jobs here, but how can I get to work without having to drive through downtown Indianapolis? And I get that, too. It's a good point, too.
Come back for one more segment?
I'd love to. Thanks for having me.
Matt Baer, the traffic beast, with us. He's on the YouTube camera right now. Ladies' dreams come true. This man could be passing out in your bed with his oatmeal. He's just one email away, and he's coming right back.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a D-SNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials, too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Employee pricing. That's right. At Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, you can get employee pricing across a full lineup of your favorite trucks and SUVs. Their entire American inventory has been marked with employee pricing, so you pay what they pay on F-150s, on Super Duties, Explorers, all of them with employee pricing. And if you need something a little smaller but still want to be able to haul the crew and cargo around, the Edge is the perfect choice for you. And you'll definitely enjoy the excellent fuel economy. Plus, it's loaded with safety features. Get more to your door with Andy Moore Ford. Simply purchase your vehicle online and they'll deliver it to you. And if you need to sell or trade your current vehicle, the time has never been better. Andy Moore Ford will pay top dollar for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them. Employee pricing on all your favorite Fords are at Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at Andy Moore Ford, MOHR. AndyMooreFord.com.
Wondering when to plant grass seed for ideal results? Wondering who has the best lawn products? Well, now is the time, and great lawn starts with Jonathan Green products. Hey, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. And like Sullivan Hardware and Garden, Jonathan Green is a family-owned and operated business. Jonathan Green has only premium quality Black Beauty grass seed, soil foods, and fertilizers to ensure that you achieve noticeable noticeably better results on your lawn. By making your work easier and delivering an impressive lawn, Jonathan Green products will turn your lawn into a green space to be enjoyed with family and friends. Black Beauty seed mixtures are sold at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Improve your lawn with Jonathan Green. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Beck Toyota has been sold to the Hubler Automotive Group. But before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. And when Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. Every pre-owned Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Tacoma, Tundra, every car, every truck, everything in the showroom, everything on the lot. Need credit? Managers will be on site, accepting applications for immediate review. Plus, Hubler's got you covered. Every Q-certified vehicle includes our 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Before the grand opening of Hubler Toyota, everything goes. It's your chance to save like never before. Don't miss it. When Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. On US 31 South in Indianapolis, across from Hubler Chevrolet. Visit HublerToyota.com. Before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Mother's Day's almost here. Sundown Gardens is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Tired of digging through noise to find real news? Go straight to WIBC.com. Local stories, statewide impact, national headlines, info that matters. When news breaks, WIBC.com is already on it. Stay on the know while you're on the go.
Matt Bear, talk now.
Inbound 69, stop and go. Stop and go traffic from 116th through 282nd. Eastbound 465 is stopped from Westfield Boulevard over to I-69. That's because of an earlier stall that is now gone. Southside northbound 65 stop and go traffic from Raymond Street up to the South Split. That's because of road maintenance blocking the left lane. Eastbound 70 jams at Harding into the South Split. Inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. And heading up to Madison County, a crash northbound 69 at State Road 13. Right lane is closed and traffic is stopped back to Campus Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146 and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Matt, what's this clip we're going to hear from your Supporting Sobriety podcast?
The Supporting Sobriety podcast, you can find it anywhere. We talk to the caregiver, the alcoholic in the attic, and myself, being a recovering alcoholic, and my partner, esteemed morning anchor Ryan Hedrick, is a recovering addict. I'm actually both. But we did a lot of episodes on this Alcohol Awareness Month that went through April, and one of the things that just came up organically in our conversations was gateway drugs. And with everything going through the state house right now and talking about marijuana, it was on our minds, top of mind, and everything like that. Is weed really a gateway drug? And we both had kind of different responses about it. But this is what I had to say what a gateway drug is. Alcohol is a gateway drug. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, just because it's popular, it is my drug of choice.
And
by
legal.
The way. Yeah, just because it's popular and legal and glamorized, and there's Mad Men and, really cool fraternity movies where people are getting drunk and doing just living the high life and everything. It's a gateway drug, okay? I mean, every time I did cocaine, I had a buzz. Or not even a buzz, but I was doing shots or something. There was some sort of drinking with it. Anytime I tried a stronger drug, there was some sort of alcohol with it. So don't give me this shit that alcohol is not a gateway drug and marijuana is like the bugaboo of the whole thing, because anything can be a gateway drug in there. It's as simple as that. What I'm saying now,
such an interesting take.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Wow.
If you can drink, and we said this last week, if you can drink. Okay, I cannot. I'm an alcoholic. I'm in recovery, but that is just from my own experiences, and I'm not a scientist by any way. Any time that I got into the heavy stuff, When I'm saying heavy stuff, I'm not talking about vodka or shots here. Anytime I got into the heavy stuff, alcohol was involved. So alcohol very much was a gateway drug to me because you lower those inhibitions. You become more verbose. And as saying that, I didn't address marijuana there, but I believe marijuana is a gateway drug too. So it just comes down to, am I an addict or am I an alcoholic? Do I have the disease of addiction? Do I not? And that should determine whether or not we can handle this stuff and whether or not it's going to be a gateway drug for us. Now, you might have an experimental phase, more power to you. But for me and for Ryan, hands off. It's no can do.
And what I thought was a great point, something legal can be a gateway drug.
Fantastic. Yeah, I could have said, but yeah, if it's legal, it can't, even if they legalize marijuana here in the state of Indiana, last state to do it, then we are going to, that doesn't change the fact that marijuana can't be a gateway drug. It doesn't matter about the legality. Addiction's addiction, man.
Interesting.
Where can we find the podcast?
It's Sporting Sobriety, and you can find that on Apple, Spotify, any major podcast provider. We are on X, Twitter, and Instagram at @sobriety_pod. That's at @sobriety_pod. And you can find us on Instagram as well. So we're blessed to do it. And thank you to everybody that's listened thus far.
And Matt, I'm serious when I say this. I'm working with a new provider for the merch store for Hammer and Nigel. It's down right now, hoping that it comes back soon. I want the Matt Bear calendar to happen.
I'll do anything for a buck, Hammer.
Well, be careful what you say because you may be. Matt Bear, the traffic beast, you're the best. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Love you guys.
Coming up next, the jobs report, pretty solid. Trump's speech at Alabama, pretty solid. And producer Allison's week in review. That may not be so solid. We've got all that coming up next. It's a Beer Sample Friday, baby. Let's kickstart the weekend on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Playoff fever in the Circle City. Stick with the winners, the Fiduciary Advisors. Your championship team in financial management, that's Trajan Wealth. Matt Bear here. Hey, Trajan Wealth wants to help you draw up those X's and O's of your retirement. They do that by getting with you, then collaborating with you on a portfolio perfect for your timeline and dreams. Call for your first consultation. It's free. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth offers retirement income planning services that start with an in-depth understanding of your short and long-term goals. Trajan Wealth can help you design a strategy based on realistic options that align with your goals and circumstances. Call and schedule a consultation at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP $105,575, Nautilus MSRP $61,995, Corsair MSRP $47,820. Offers good through May 31st, 2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Honey,
Take your blood pressure medication.
Thanks, dear.
Daddy,
Yeah, Mikey.
are you going to the hospital again for a heart attack?
No, son. Bad medication from a fake online pharmacy sent me to the hospital. My pills didn't have enough of the right medicine for my blood pressure. We learned the hard way that it's important to buy medication only from sites that have either been approved by NABP or that end in .pharmacy, so we know they're safe. Okay?
Okay, Daddy.
Many rogue online pharmacies sell medications with too much, too little, or the wrong medicine, and counterfeiters may even use harmful fillers to make cheap pills. The National Association of Boards of Pharmacy urges everyone to make sure their online pharmacy is legitimate and to watch in coming months for more websites with a .pharmacy URL. These have been vetted as safe and legal. Learn more at safe.pharmacy, a public service from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
The fine print is a work in progress. Lisa Brady, Fox News. But as the work continues in Congress, the president is adding his budget plan to the mix, though it amounts to another framework. Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill.
Budgets are aspirational. They are a wish list. But this plan cuts a staggering 20% of all money which Congress allocates every year. Budget Director Russ Vought believes Republicans are willing to rein in spending.
We haven't seen this enthusiasm both from Congress, Republicans, and the executive branch, honestly, since the 1980s. So will it be easy? No, I don't think it will, but we're making a ton of progress, and I think for the first time, this budget is not dead on arrival.
But defense hawks ripped the plan. Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Roger Wicker said it would shred to the bone military capabilities.
Senior officials say the defense budget is expected to top $1 trillion for the first time, but part of the increase would be included in the reconciliation bill Republicans are writing. Democrats reject the president's pledge not to touch Medicare and Medicaid. His current plan does not address those programs. The administration just asking the U.S. Supreme Court to let Elon Musk's Doge team into Social Security systems after a judge restricted access over privacy concerns. A deadly highway collision near Yellowstone National Park remains under investigation.
A tour van carrying 14 people and a pickup truck with just the driver inside collided on a highway just outside Yellowstone National Park. 6 people in the van and the pickup truck driver were killed Thursday night. The other 8 people were taken to hospitals. Idaho State Police say the collision caused both vehicles to catch fire. A man on his way home who took video of the aftermath, Roger Merrill, said it's a dangerous highway and because of its proximity to Yellowstone is often very busy. But he also said it's remote, so it took first responders what he called an unnervingly long time to reach the crash site.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A 13-year-old shot in the hip this afternoon. Rain is headed in this general direction. It's coming from the southwest. You do have a 60% chance that you'll see rain tonight. Right now it's 72 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending at 5:02. That was during what may have been a road rage incident about 1:30 p.m. on I-465 and Emerson Avenue in Indianapolis.
It started with what we believe shots being fired from one vehicle to another. After those shots were fired, one of the vehicles exited onto Emerson at a high rate of speed and crashed into another vehicle.
Indiana State Police Sergeant John Perrine. That teenager was taken to Riley Children's Health. So was a baby that was in the car, but just to be checked out. Police do have someone in custody. Faith and political leaders at Purpose of Life Ministries Friday say they want Governor Mike Braun to respond to comments by his Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith. State Senator Andrea Hundley is one of them.
We got to be vigilant today because this only gets worse tomorrow. We know it. We've seen it. We've been here before. Our ancestors have been here before. Many of you in this room have been here before. You know.
At the press conference, which ministers called We Are Not 3/5, Hundley urged people to sign a petition, which leaders plan to present to Governor Mike Braun next week about comments on the 3/5 compromise by Beckwith. Police teaming up with ICE.
The bill was finally signed into law this week by Governor Braun. I'm Ryan Hedrick. What the bill does is it makes it mandatory for people who run jails like sheriffs across the state to contact ICE if the person they're holding is charged with a felony or a misdemeanor and they have probable cause to believe that that person is in the country illegally. The bill was changed to remove language that requires requires police who arrest those people to contact ICE.
Evansville police officer Anthony Stevenson turned himself in today on a criminal recklessness charge. Evansville PD says he's accused of pulling a gun on fellow officers while drunk Sunday outside the Fraternal Order of Police building during an argument after a celebration. You've got traffic and weather in 1 minute.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, inbound 69. Stop and go traffic 106, 282nd for a 7-minute delay. Inbound 65, that's an 11-minute delay from MLK to the north split. Eastbound 70 slow but moving from Belmont into the south split. South side, northbound 65, stop and go Raymond Street into the south split because of maintenance blocking the left lane. Also on the south side, eastbound 465 slows Kentucky Avenue to I-69. Slow before I-65 over to Emerson Avenue. Crash heading to Madison County. It's northbound 69 at State Road 13. Right lane closed stopped to Campus Parkway. 24-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and isolated storms into Friday night with lows in the mid-50s. A few showers possible for the Indy Mini Marathon Saturday morning, then showers at times the remainder of the day with highs in the low to mid-60s and breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 83 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
All right, Hammer, are we feeling better about the jobs report? Because I know earlier in this week, everybody was all downtrodden because the economy shrank 0.3% in the first quarter for the first time in a couple of years. But the jobs report, something different. What are we thinking here?
I think this is good news. And honestly, it's not even about the job numbers, and we'll get to that, right? It's awkward to say that the jobs report isn't about the jobs numbers, but the report that came out today, above expectations. The forecast was for 135,000 jobs created. It was around 177,000, so that's good. But this is what I'm talking about right here. What we found out today in this report, the average hourly earnings, paycheck, right? Up 3.8% year over year. Now, that to me is more important than the jobs itself. People are starting to earn more money at their job.
Finally.
Average hourly earnings up almost 4% year over year. Now, where we saw the biggest gains in this jobs report, restaurants, hotels, healthcare, and yes, education. So all the angry red-shirted teachers understand that education saw a big jump in job growth.
So hospitality, healthcare, hospitality, recreation, gig economy, and then you're telling me education?
Correct. Healthcare saw 51,000 jobs added. Transportation, warehousing, 29,000. Financial activities, 14,000.
You know, Hammer, when we got positive job numbers like this, it was always like 90,000 jobs added to the government.
Right.
Did that have any play in this at all?
Government jobs declined by 9,000. thanks to your friends at Doge.
Okay.
Now, listen, I know some people probably had decent jobs and they probably worked hard.
I know some people that did personally. Sure.
But there's a lot of folks that were just milking the teat of the government.
Yeah.
And government jobs are down 9,000, and the jobs report still exceeded expectations. So let that sink in just a little bit. Now, the downside to this report, I would have liked to have seen manufacturing do a little bit better.
It will.
Minus 1,000 right now, a slight decline on manufacturing.
With the tariffs, it'll come back.
Matt Egan of CNN, he is their financial guy. And the reason why I play CNN clips here, sometimes people ask me, why do you play sound bites from CNN? Nobody wants to hear that. I think it's interesting when the side that hates Donald Trump with the passion of a million fires has to be honest and talk about some of the progress being made.
We got steady hiring. This jobs market is just relentless. Let me run you through the key numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
177,000 jobs were added in the month of April. That easily beat forecasts for 135,000. So not even close there. The unemployment rate stayed low. It stayed at 4.2%. When we look at where the jobs are right now, we're seeing solid gains in a number of places. Accommodation and food services, right? Restaurants, hotels, hospitals, healthcare, private education, all of them adding jobs. One place where we saw a loss of jobs again was the federal government as the Doge cuts to the workforce continue. But still, when we really zoom out here, this jobs market has been solid. So I think the big question is this the calm before the storm? Or is it the calm before the calm? And I think we're only going to get that answer in the next few weeks and months, and a lot of that is going to be decided by what happens with tariffs.
And the calm he's talking about is this is a good jobs report, but what's going to happen with tariffs? That's kind of the storm that nobody knows right now.
Somebody asks in the Hammer and Nigel chat room here on the YouTube feed, is WIBC hiring?
Promotions team members.
We've got a big, there's a job fair tomorrow here, right?
Correct. If you know somebody that, let's be honest, for the most part, is younger, college kid, fresh out of high school, somebody in their 20s, we're looking for promotions members.
Huge job fair here tomorrow at Monument Circle in the lobby, at the Radio 1 studios.
Correct.
40 Monument Circle.
Last night, Donald Trump spoke at the commencement at the University of Alabama.
Alabama Slammer?
Here is Donald Trump's advice to the graduates of Alabama.
If you want to change the world, you have to have the courage to be an outsider. In other words, you have to take certain risks and do things a little bit differently. Otherwise, if that weren't the case, everybody would be successful. Doesn't work that way. Progress never comes from those satisfied with the failures of a broken system. It comes from those who want to fix the broken system. And you'll make the bigger money, you'll make the more success by acting that way. The other way may be more secure, but if you want to go to the top, you're just never going to do it unless you break the system. Change is never easy, and the closer you get to success, the more ferociously those with a vested interest in the past will resist you. They want to resist. So I just say,
resist.
Trust me on that because I know.
Right. Trust me, I know. When you go against the grain, people will resist.
That wasn't exactly the most fiery part of the speech last night, but it was, the whole thing overall was well received.
It was.
It was incredible, actually.
Honestly, the loudest ovation he got was when he talked about protecting women's sports.
And as long as I'm president, we will always protect women's sports. Men will not play in women's sports.
All right, right there, he should have just ended it by yelling, "Roll Tide!" Throw up his hands and walk off the stage. Give him a roll tide and walk off the stage. Before we hit a break here with Matt Baer, producer Allison, you've put together a little something for us.
Yeah, so a lot happens through the week, I've noticed, especially in this show. And I know listeners miss a lot of things, so I thought maybe each week I'll just recap with under a minute what you guys have provided the audience in case someone missed something or wants a little more Hammer Nigel.
Okay, so this is kind of a week in review of the Hammer and Nigel show.
This is new, okay.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest, Gabe Whitley's attorney, kind of hot. If you didn't have Zipper, you'd be walking around and cranks be flying out.
This guy's climbing Mount Fiji, right? Fuji. Fuji? What'd I say, Fiji?
I hate Benjamin Ritchie, and I hope he dies on May 20th.
Oh, I've been corrected, by the way. I made a reference to Seinfeld and George going to see the turtles in Guatemala. It was a Galapagos Islands.
And really, you were trying to talk about Ghana anyway, so you're 0 for 3 on that.
That's right.
You get a few Crave case of White Castles in me, some warm Budweiser, I'm marking my territory for a while. Beaver officer.
I was wrong.
Yeah, I didn't want to say you're way off.
Unless it's Enzanus.
I don't think I could have been more wrong than Kevin Bacon and Air Bud.
Keep the air up there.
That's what I'm thinking of.
The air up there, not Air Bud. 2 anus conversations in the same segment.
I don't know fingers. I don't know if there are any fingers. I don't know if that's how it works anymore.
You can't remember, so you don't know.
Anus.
Yeah! Woo!
Was that Allison there at the end?
Allison with the closer. Anus.
There you guys go. Just in case you missed something.
Well done, Allison. All right, Matt Bear, what's going on?
Southbound 65 from Anus Boulevard down to Meridian. I'm sorry, southbound 65. That's stop and go traffic. Here's the right screen. 8-minute delay from MLK to Meridian Penn. Inbound 69, 8-minute delay from 106th Street down to 82nd. It's a vehicle fire cleanup on the exit ramp from eastbound 70 to Emerson Avenue. The ramp has reopened. Cleanup is on the right side. Eastbound 465, stop and go traffic Westfield Boulevard to Allisonville Road. Northbound 69, Madison County crash. This is at State Road 13. The right lane's blocked. Traffic is stopped past Campus Parkway to 126th Street. Delays at 35 minutes. Traffic sponsored by Rocket. If you feel like owning a home has been out of reach, Rocket is here to change that. Own the dream. Visit rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET. Again, that's rocket.com or call 800-4ROCKET. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We got Beer Sample Friday coming up in just a little bit, but we're going to play Are You Okay With This next.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower, future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling will pay you cash for your scrap metal. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling may seem familiar to you, and that's because they are. They're trusted local family-owned businesses going back 3 generations in Indy with their familiar orange logo and a name you know. But you may not know they'll pay you cash for your scrap metal. Cash is king. Your scrap aluminum, steel, copper, and brass will get you cash from Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Just drop it off or schedule a pickup, and you'll put cash in your pocket. Ray's Demolition and Farnsworth Metal Recycling. Local names you can trust with 2 locations.
Farnsworth Metal Recycling, a familiar face in Indy.
Get cash for your scrap. Get started at farnsworthmetals.com.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 317-516-6861 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. 317-516-6861 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 317-516-6861 for fast, easy, affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 317-516-6861.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Spring is here, and Dammons is full speed ahead with endless plant production of perennials, annuals, hanging baskets, roses, and planters. Trucks are arriving with fresh trees and shrubs. Dammons' friendly staff is ready to assist you and get you the help you need. So for any of your gardening needs, experience Dammons South on Emerson Avenue and Dammons West on Rockville Road.
Dammons Lawn and Garden, Indiana's most complete garden center.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's Spring Nursery headquarters.
Are you really okay with this? Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay. Are you okay?
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hollywood movie director Guy Ritchie, one of my favorite directors.
Hosted the Gun Guy show on the weekends.
No, that is inaccurate. Completely false.
Oh.
Guy Ritchie, married to Madonna at one point. Director of famous movies like Snatch and Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. Great director. Has signed on to direct Roadhouse 2 with Jake Gyllenhaal. Are you okay with this?
Nope. Not in the slightest, because I reject the premise. Now, when you say Roadhouse 2, at first I thought, didn't they already make a Roadhouse 2? But then I had to remember it wasn't a sequel, it was a reboot.
Reboot, yeah.
So this is a sequel to the reboot. So it's not anybody that you're familiar with from the original awesome version that featured Patrick Swayze, Sam Elliott, the Double Deuce, the Jeff Healey Band, none of that. This is the crap one that Jake Gyllenhaal was a part of. And I think he fought Conor McGregor the previous one.
Yes, that's right. But, man, it was huge when it was released on Amazon Prime. I watched it. I didn't mind it. I liked it.
Just because you watched it, though, doesn't make it good. I watched the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight. It was a turd, but it made a lot of money, and we all watched it, right? Same thing with that stupid Jake Paul fight against Mike Tyson.
Oh,
Half of us couldn't even watch it on our TVs, but we watched it. Wasn't good, but we watched it.
I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was an okay/good reboot, and lots of action. But the fact that Guy Ritchie has signed on for Part 2, again, starring Jake Gyllenhaal in his role there in the Keys as a bouncer and an ex-UFC fighter. I like this idea, and I'm definitely going to check it out.
This isn't going to the theater. This is straight, what is it, Paramount streaming?
Something like that. I mean, look, Guy Ritchie's got
Video.
Prime Video. Oh, is it going to Prime? Yeah, because that's where it went the last time.
Okay.
Their biggest debut ever. In 8 weeks, 80 million views. Biggest debut ever.
So if you thought the first one was a turd, get ready, kids, because here comes the sequel.
TikTok is slamming a woman named Amanda for her messy car and the fact that she travels in it with her young son. Here she is going through it, and have you seen this, Hammer? This woman is a straight-up slob.
Trigger warning, it's about to get ugly. It's time to clean the car. It's a mess. I mean, this is just not right. Here's a dinosaur. Footballs. Look at all this chocolate in here. I know what you guys are going to say.
Got like her 3-year-old son.
Let the baby be in the car. How can you drive in the car like this? This is another thing that we've been blinded to that we are working on making it better. And yes, the baby is in the car with me while I'm doing this. It's the best way I could watch him while I got this done.
Dude, the car is filthy. It looks like they're living out of it. They're not. It's just disgusting. Are you okay with this?
No, but it's not a hard no, because I get it, man. When your kids are little,
oh yeah,
that car becomes a mess.
No.
You've got French fries, you've got chicken nuggets, you've got Hot Wheels cars or crayons or whatever it is. It ends up on the floor. It ends up between the seats. It ends up getting thrown at you. Cars can get filthy when you got kids. And then later, if they're playing any sort of sport or have an activity, you've got all that stuff in the trunk, right? So there's baseball gloves, baseball bats, baseballs, cleats, helmets, all of it. And there's a line, though, right? There's a line.
This woman, this slob crossed it.
She ran past that line of Usain Bolt in the Olympics.
This is something out of Hoarders, almost. Right. It is filthy. It's dirty. It's not. This is next level type stuff. Now, the thing is, her angle is that she's posting the videos and she's trying to, she realizes that she has a problem. Yeah, a lot of people's cars are messy.
Right.
My buddy Fish, back in the day, he was sales guy, just had nothing but empty water bottles and empty cigarette cartons all over his car,
Right.
So, but this one, look this lady up. Her name's Amanda, and she's getting just slammed on TikTok for her messy car. It's next level.
You don't have to have a squeaky clean, like new car smell ride.
No.
But it can't look like that.
Are you okay with this? One of the biggest viral terms to come out of 2024 was raw dogging on flights, on airplanes.
Which I have an issue with that term because that's not the term that I learned.
Yeah, well, now there's a sequel. There's a sequel to this. By the way, raw dogging on flights is when you're not listening to music, you're not doing anything, you're just looking straight ahead on an airplane while you're traveling.
Not what I grew up understanding.
It's called raw dogging. Now, there's a sequel called barebacking.
Oh, come on!
On a train.
No, you're making this up.
Nope. On a train or a subway, which is commuting without tech and entertainment. You just sit there like a lump on a log, and you're barebacking and not paying attention to anything.
Barebackers, you've commuted enough times. Why are you sitting there without a phone, without a book, just looking at me, looking at what's going on?
Raw dogging.
Keep yourself to yourself. Read a book. Listen to, just do something.
That was from Behind the Screen podcast. Are you okay with barebacking?
They're just trolling us at this point, right? So if I went to somebody that may be a little bit younger than I am, because I'm 47, maybe it's a generational thing, and I said, hey, we're going to go on vacation and we're going to do a lot of raw dogging and barebacking, you mean to tell me they would understand that we're just going to look straight forward and not move? That would be the understanding.
No earbuds, no listening to music, no reading a book. That's what that means.
No.
That's not. You saying no? That's not what it means.
Both. I'm not okay with this, and no, that's not what this means. We're just making stuff up now. Like they're trying to see if they could just tick off people my age, and damn it, it's working. That's not what those mean, and they know that's not what this means.
A woman posted a video claiming she went to a massage place and didn't realize it was one of those massage places.
I accidentally had a massage at a brothel.
A brothel.
I went and just had a massage the other week after the gym. My neck was sore. Well, since then I've found out that it is a full service. There were flags and they were red and waving. And when it was halfway through, a guy walked in and he was like, oh no, I'm going to wait for that other person. And I was like, yeah, whatever. She's actually giving me a great massage. But then she didn't change the towel or the face thing or anything when I left. She was just like, out, next. They were probably so confused as to why I was there saying, I've got a sore neck.
A woman confused a massage parlor with like a real brothel massage parlor. Are you okay with this?
Yeah, because the conversation she had with Robert Kraft was fantastic while she was there. She felt a little uncomfortable at first, but Robert Kraft and Deshaun Watson were there to hold her hand and to let her know that everything was going to be all right, Nige.
Lord. According to a report, the average single person should expect to spend $461 to attend a wedding. For a couple, it's about $550. A single member of the bridal or groom party can expect to pay over $2,000 to be in the wedding. Are you okay with that?
Some of this, because I get if you're a member of the wedding party, like tuxes aren't cheap and you've got to do the dinners and the rehearsals and take time off for work. I get all that. But the average person or couple, $461 or $550, it seems like it's a pretty steep number.
Well, yeah, I mean, our wedding was open bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like free food, open bar. I don't think people had to spend a dime. I mean, giving us a gift, a monetary gift.
But how many people are bringing you a $500 gift?
Yeah, hardly anybody.
Very few.
Zero.
You know, maybe some people,
your family,
immediate family, but your cousins, your friends, they're not bringing you a $400, $500 gift. That's not happening. I don't know where these people live, but that seems a little high.
Coming up next, man, we got to. Did you hear about the story in Spain and Portugal earlier in the week? How like power just shut off everywhere. No cell phones, no signals. Hundreds of thousands of people trapped in subways and train stations, and it's because of their infrastructure and their rush to, net zero carbon emissions. This is a story everybody needs to hear about because it's coming here to the United States, if it's not here already, with rolling blackouts and stuff like this. We're going to talk to Oliver Lane from Breitbart. He's their London bureau correspondent, and he'll break down what happened. You're going to you don't want to miss that conversation. Coming up right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It may have been road rage. Radar showing rain coming in from the southwest, headed to the central part of the state. It may make it this far. You do have a 60% chance for rain overnight. Right now it's 71 on Monument Circle. I'm Chris Davis. Here's what's trending. You may see state police working at I-465 in Emerson this afternoon. It all started about 1:30 with shots fired from one car to another, says Indiana State Police Sergeant John Perrine.
Inside that car that crashed from the interstate was a child who had what appeared to be a gunshot wound. That child was transported to a local hospital and was listed in stable condition. We also have a person of interest in custody right now.
He says detectives have every reason to believe that it had to do with road rage. A big wreck at Yellowstone. 7 people have been killed. A tour van and pickup truck crashed on a highway near there. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
A tour van carrying 14 people and a pickup truck with just the driver inside collided on a highway just outside Yellowstone National Park. 6 people in the van and the pickup truck driver were killed Thursday night. The other 8 people were taken to hospitals. Idaho State Police say the collision caused both vehicles to catch fire. A man on his way home who took video of the aftermath, Roger Merrill, said it's a dangerous highway, and because of its proximity to Yellowstone is often very busy.
Elon Musk is preparing to leave DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, after announcing the group has slashed more than $150 billion in federal spending. Office of Management and Budget Director Russell Vogt telling Fox's The Story with Martha McCallum.
We're trying to make these cuts permanent. We're trying to send them up to Congress, propose the lowest non-defense level since 2017. If you adjust it for inflation, it's the lowest since 2000 because we want to bank these $163 billion in cuts to the bureaucracy that has been woke and weaponized.
This is what we were sent to Washington to do, to support President Trump. And every day that we waste and we don't pass a rescissions package to make this stuff permanent is a day that we're missing the boat.
Indiana Senator Jim Banks telling Fox News he's ready for Congress to go ahead and make it law. Traffic on 93 WIBC. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Chris, looking at inbound 69 stop-and-go traffic from 116th Street to 82nd. That's a 9-minute delay. Inbound 65, 6-minute delay from MLK to Meridian Penn. South side, northbound 65, slow from Raymond Street into the south split. That slow down because of road maintenance, blocking the left lane from Raymond into the south split. Eastbound 70 for the west side, stop-and-go after Tibbs Avenue into the south split. And that's a delay right now at 3 minutes. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers and isolated storms into Friday night with lows in the mid-50s. A few showers possible for the Indy Mini Marathon Saturday morning, then showers at times the remainder of the day with highs in the low to mid-60s and breezy winds. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna from 93 WIBC.
I'm Chris Davis, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Hammer, I wonder how many people who are in such a rush for net zero carbon emissions and millions of acres of solar panels and wind farms, these people that want to get rid of nuclear energy immediately. We want thousands of hamsters in cages running on wheels, generating our energy, all in the name of climate change. I wonder how many of these people saw what happened in Spain and Portugal and parts of France a few days ago, a massive, incomplete, nations-wide power cut. The biggest story here in America, the biggest story nobody's talking about here in America. We'll bring on Breitbart's London bureau chief Oliver Lane to explain what happened. Oliver, I know it's late Friday in London for you. I'm sure you're ready. You're anxious to get to a pint. You may have already had a few already. That's fine with us. I'm drinking one right now. But first off, Oliver, welcome to the show. Massive and complete power outage in Spain. What happened?
Thank you for having me on again. Yeah, presently inside a cup of tea, but the beer not far behind this time. So we had a really remarkable thing happen in Europe on Monday, and it's something that some people have been talking about as a potential for a very long time. It's something I've been talking about for a very long time, even going so far back as my days at university, which is a very long time ago now. That makes me feel very old to say that. We had a total power outage, and let me just illustrate how total this was. At about lunchtime Monday, we had an event, and we'll talk about that in a moment, which destabilized Spain's power grid. About a second and a half later, there was a second event, and you'll notice I'm using that word again. Again, we'll get back to that. And the Spanish power grid was unable to recover from these two events hitting so close back to back. This caused essentially a pancaking, a cascade failure, which knocked out power source after power source. So we get to the point where the entire Iberian Peninsula, which is the Atlantic-facing southwestern part of Europe, is completely without power. So that's the whole of Spain, the whole of Portugal. Two whole countries. And what's really remarkable about this is we had this sort of initial readouts from the Spanish government, which, by the way, were pretty difficult to get on Monday, because I emphasize again, no power, which means no television, no radio, no internet. The cell phones didn't work. The water wasn't flowing because the desalination plant shut down, and the water pumps weren't running, municipal water pumps. The country was turned off on Monday. And so the initial thing was that, they did still have some power. There was still 10 gigawatts of generation in the system. It just wasn't enough power to get shared around. And then, coming Tuesday, by the time they got 99% of the power back and they were beginning to figure out what really happened. And this is a shocking fact we get from Red Electrica, which is Spain's national generation company. They're in charge of the power plants and the distribution. Yeah. in the very depths of this power cut, they discovered that the Iberian Peninsula's power generation had gone to zero. There was not any power being put into the grid anywhere in the entire southwest of Europe on Monday. It's mind-blowing.
Chilling. I mean, it's terrifying. So we can get back to the event in just a second, what maybe caused it, but what was happening in Spain after that? I mean, people being rescued, trapped in subways, out in the streets, cars, traffic jams. What was Spain like?
Okay, so I think actually you could hardly have asked for a better country for this to happen in, because it happened during the day, middle of the day, the sun's out, it's a warm country. People were able to just walk out the office and go and get a beer and relax. There was no civil unrest. I think 5 people were killed in relation to the event. I think this is, accidents or the emergency services not being able to get through in time. And every single one of those 5 people is a tragedy. But when you think that 2 countries and 70 million people were without power for an entire day, that's incredible. Like that is so incredibly fortunate, actually. But you did have a lot of sort of on their own very frightening instances. Like I think, and I'm just racking my memory for this, I think 150,000 people were trapped on trains that were underground in tunnels like subways.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
Now, Oliver, real quick, let me jump in here. When the power did come back, how was the media spin? Because in this country, Nigel mentioned it earlier, this story was ignored by the climate cultists. How did the spin of this story take place once the power did come back?
Yeah, and spin it was, because just weeks before this happened, the Red Electrica, as I say, the Spain's power generation company, had boasted that they had powered the entire Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, for the first time on a weekday with 100% renewable energy. And there was a debate at that time over whether that was sustainable, whether they could really keep up with that, whether there'd be blackouts. And the company assured at this time, and this is in our report, the lights will never go out because we guarantee generation. And then just a month or two later, however long it was, you have this enormous blackout. So what I find quite remarkable is you have this initial rush on the day of the blackout itself to distance the decisions, the acts of people from what happened. And the initial blame is on, essentially, it's an act of God. Force majeure. The initial blame goes on a unusual atmospheric condition that crashed the grid. Now, people who were expert in energy generation, people within the industry, looking in from the outside, cast doubt on that very quickly. And I think to their credit, because actually that was walked back the next day. And now we're in this sort of very odd kind of halfway house, whereas I sort of lent into earlier on in this bit when we were talking, we have a very good timeline of what happened. But then we have this word, the event. Days later, we still do not know what the initial event was that caused this loss of power. And I'm sort of reaching out now to a Bloomberg journalist who's a career energy industry journalist. Like he's an expert in his field. And his view, and I can't remember his name, I can't cite it to you now, but his view is that it's ridiculous that the Spanish government is pretending it doesn't know what happened days later. They do, they just don't want to talk about it.
We are speaking with Breitbart News London's bureau chief Oliver Lane, covering this nations-wide power cut that happened on Monday. Spain, Portugal, parts of France. Is there any talk of this rush to net zero carbon emissions, this rush to renewable energy, this rush to, it's like it's a binary choice. We have to go one or the other. I mean, does Spain even have any redundancies in terms of backups like this? Okay, so this thing in the peninsula goes down. All right, fire up the generator kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Is there any talk there? I'm sure there's no media narrative there asking those kinds of questions.
So you've asked me 2 questions there, and I'm going to go for the second one first, which is that what backups do they have? Actually, Spain is one of those several European countries that has been merrily demolishing its traditional power generation legacy over the several years. So when I was looking into this, this week, just how many power plants has Spain demolished? And there's this constant drumbeat of news articles in the Spanish media, saying like, oh, brilliant, fantastic, pat ourselves on the back. Yet another cooling tower has been demolished. We've got rid of another nuclear power plant or another coal power plant. And this is all part of their march towards net zero. So on one hand there is no redundancy because you don't have the traditional power infrastructure, which, by the way, it's now being said, again by industry experts, could have prevented this from happening. We can go into that in a bit if you like. But on the other hand, yes, there was some backup because, of course, all these hospitals that would have been plunged into darkness, the supermarkets whose chiller cabinets full of meat would have thawed out, etc. Of course, round the back, they always have the massive diesel generators. And in fact, some Spanish regions this week have announced they are making massive, extraordinary purchases of diesel for emergencies because the reserves were depleted on Monday. So, go green, get diesel is what I'm saying.
Breitbart London Bureau Chief Oliver Lane with us. So, Oliver, let's go to the United States here. Donald Trump at a Michigan rally was talking about energy independence. That's his philosophy. Drill, baby, drill. Your thoughts on Donald Trump going with that talking point that he used during the campaign now after we saw what happened in Europe?
Well, look, I'm calling from the United Kingdom, and there is hardly any country in the world that needs drill, baby, drill more than we do. Yeah. Because, of course, we live on an island that is made of coal. We live on an island that floats on a sea of natural gas and oil. And our government, for whatever reasons they slavishly follow, have decreed that no more mines will be sunk, no more drilling licenses will be granted. So thinking about this Trumpian approach to energy, which has turned the United States into an energy exporting powerhouse, and Europe survives now on imports of American natural gas. Now we're not getting it cheap from Russia. Thinking about the way that the conversation that we're having here, because actually going back to your previous question, you sort of teased, you said, I'm sure there's no media narrative now around what Green has done, how it's contributed to this power outage on Monday. And actually, I've got to give you some good news. You're wrong about that. Okay. There's a huge conversation all of a sudden starting now in Europe, just in the past couple of days, where you look at Spain, which is the poster child for the rush for decarbonisation and net zero, and suddenly everybody, and I really do mean everybody, all the way up to like the godfathers of globalism, of the Great Reset, like Tony Blair, the former Prime Minister of the UK, the king globalist centrist, is now saying that the rush for decarbonisation has been irrational and it's putting people off and it's not working. And the fact we've had all of this just this week, it really feels like a tide is turning.
Fascinating and terrifying all at the same time. I have a feeling you wish the UK would treat energy independence and power as a national security issue the way our president does at this point. We are speaking with Breitbart News London Bureau Chief Oliver Lane. Back to the tea, back to the pints. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Fascinating and scary all at the same time. Oliver, have a good one.
Thanks for having me on.
Beer Sample Friday next on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You know exactly why you need to remodel that kitchen of yours. The space, it's outdated. You can't move around like you used to. It doesn't work like it needs to. You want to entertain and you want to improve your quality of life. This can happen, just not with the kitchen you have. You need to call Booher Remodeling. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. They can take that old kitchen that's deteriorating and broken down and turn it into something that works for you and your family. Their 5-step design process from start to finish, the consultation, the preliminary design, the design development, getting all the documents together, and then getting it done. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Booher Remodeling will guide you through the entire process, starting with the free initial consultation, and they stand behind their work with a 2-year workmanship guarantee. Create that new kitchen. Design experts can use an existing layout or begin completely from scratch. Talk to Booher Remodeling today. B-O-O-H-E-R. BooherRemodeling.com. That's BooherRemodeling.com.
Beck Toyota has been sold to the Hubler Automotive Group. But before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. And when Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. Every pre-owned Corolla, Camry, RAV4, Highlander, Tacoma, Tundra, every car, every truck, everything in the showroom, everything on the lot. Need credit? Managers will be on site, accepting applications for immediate review. Plus, Hubler's got you covered. Every Q-certified vehicle includes our 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Before the grand opening of Hubler Toyota, everything goes. It's your chance to save like never before. Don't miss it. When Hubler says everything goes, we mean it. On US 31 South in Indianapolis, across from Hubler Chevrolet. Visit HublerToyota.com. Before the Hubler name comes, everything goes. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's. 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 Puccini's Pizza, Pasta, Puccini's.
A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of becoming part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own. Unbound.org.
Mother's Day is almost here. Miss M's Home and Garden is fully stocked with high-quality annuals, trees, shrubs, decor, and more. State Road 135 in Bargersville.
Addiction doesn't just affect one person, it touches everyone around them. That's why Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick created the Supporting Sobriety podcast. It's for the friends and family standing behind, offering hope, guidance, and real talk. Listen now wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer just reported a crash on the northeast side of Benford Boulevard at East 71st Street. Northbound 69 crash clear at State Road 13, Madison County. If you are stopped or slow right now before Campus Parkway, that is traffic left over from that crash. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic, 106 down 282nd, a 5-minute delay. Inbound 65 slow from 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Drexel Interiors. Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or online at drexelin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 71 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's Beer Sample Friday.
Right now.
Hammer and Nigel present
Beer Sample.
Fry.
I got some beers. Let's drink them, huh?
Beers on sale, people. Come down, get you some.
You know, Hammer, we're brought to you by Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus, of course. Spencer and a gang, hello to them. But,
heading down to the Derby, stop by.
That's right, yeah.
It's on the way.
Look, sometimes brewers and restaurants will bring us beer, wanting us to try them on the air, to mention their names, to get the word out. And sometimes Hammer and Nigel show listeners will just drop us by some beer,
which is awesome.
This is one of those cases here, and this is, the official mailman of the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah.
He works in the postal industry. This is his friend that he works with, Porch. Dropped these by.
I love the official mailman's got a buddy named Porch.
And he was recently in Florida. Went to
Okay.
Cigar City Brewing, legendary, iconic brewer in Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, probably the most famous brand from Cigar City, High Lie IPA, which is also that game.
It's a silent J.
Mm-hmm.
Take a drink here.
Oh, man. Drink this every time I'm down there, for sure. And High Lie is also that game where those guys have like what looks to be giant wicker baskets on their hands, throwing balls at rapid speeds at a wall.
Okay.
But it's also an IPA out of Cigar City Brewing.
Okay, and it's good.
And so if you want to drop us off some beer to try, feel free. Thank you to Porch and everybody over there on the west side of town there in Hendricks County.
Drop it off at our front desk, and we'll go from there. But until then, Big Nige, the weekend is underway here in Indy. It's a Derby weekend, Pacer playoff weekend. Let's have some beers. Let's have some fun. One more hour to go. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Wondering when to plant grass seed for ideal results? Wondering who has the best lawn products? Well, now is the time, and great lawn starts with Jonathan Green products. Hey, Pat Sullivan here from Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan. And like Sullivan Hardware and Garden, Jonathan Green is a family-owned and operated business. Jonathan Green has only premium quality Black Beauty grass seed, soil foods, and fertilizers to ensure that you achieve noticeably better results on your lawn. By making your work easier and delivering an impressive lawn, Jonathan Green products will turn your lawn into a green space to be enjoyed with family and friends. Black Beauty seed mixtures are sold at Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Improve your lawn with Jonathan Green. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Hi, it's T. Brian Hayes here from the Retirement Money Matters Show. There are many misconceptions when it comes to taxes in retirement that can trip up even the smartest people. So, how well do you understand all the taxes, tax rules, and how the tax code works in retirement? Join me this weekend to find out and to also learn about the taxation domino effect and how that causes excessive taxes in retirement for most people. Don't let this happen to you. The Retirement Money Matters Show airs this Saturday morning at 6 a.m. right here on WIBC.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although